Hopefully, everything is good. I can zoom out a little on the YouTube window because it's very close. Anyway, as you'll see, hopefully I've titled the stream correctly. Yep. Maxwell is indeed our king. So, I think the music is fine. I did briefly check the stream from yesterday, and it was a little on the quiet side, but definitely audible. What we want. I can turn it down on my headphones, though. Okay. Almost. There we go. Now, we can start building our car, or letting the wheel build our car, because I don't know what chaos it has installed. I have shuffled these, so, you know, it should be a little more random. That was a weak spin. But are we going to get high performance sports? Yes. It always seems like choosing these. But we do have the size, so we can still have some variety. I mean, we've got an MPV last time, so that's something. I'm not going to say anything. I feel like the wheel does have a sense of self. I was going to say I don't want a large, because large isn't ideal. We've got a medium high performance sport. So 2.62, I would say the larger version of this falls into medium. It's the smaller side of medium, but kind of medium. Now we have another I have set up for what will we get? Okay, front engine. Does this support front engine? I believe it should. Maybe not. So that might change our choices a little. This is, yeah, 2.55. That's about as small as we can go. But I'm interested to give it a try. This supports mid-engined. I think this mainly is a mid-engined. But it should support front engine. I did put that on the limiter, so... Unless there is... Yeah, I think they all support front engined on this body style. Looks like a Ferrari of some kind. I mean, maybe these are just shorter wheel-based. It's possible. If I just hide V-wheel for a moment, this is what we've got to work with for now. I will perhaps change it. As I say, this is a little on the smaller side. It does have some front overhang to factor in. I think this is just about big enough to count as a mid-size. It's not tiny, it's just very small. So I'm going to cheese it that way. Also, high-performance sports bodies always seem to be a little smaller than other types of bodies. So that is a thing we can use. We've got 2 here. We'll have to enter the others. 7 numbers in total. I keep spinning it really weakly. We have got 5. I think that's partial aluminium. I think that's part aluminium, part steel. So it's not the lightest nor the heaviest. Not the stiffest material. Nor the least stiff, for lack of a better term. It should be okay. I think aluminium would be lighter, like we got on the last week's Maxwell MPV, Princess Wagon, I think it was called, something like that. We have got to spin again. Well, not spin again, I mean spin another time. And we have got a ladder chassis. This is already starting to look interesting. I think that rules out us getting struts on the front. And I am not feeling all that confident, I'll be honest. So, what are we going to get? At least we've got a pretty good ladder frame. I'll take that much. Only it supports mid-engine, no front engines. And the wheel, as I believe, if we go back, it did select front engine. So we need something that supports front engine with a ladder frame. Actually, this one. This looks like, it's one I've kind of wanted to use, for a while. Just, again, hide the wheel. I've wanted to use this body for a while, but I've never had a wheel car that actually kind of takes to this body. Like, it's certainly a high-performance sport body. And it seems very interesting, very sporty, but I didn't know quite how I was supposed to use it. This does not support all the mid-engine layouts, but that is not important right now. What is that we can choose either front transverse or front longitudinal. Oh, I wanted one. Maybe one would make sense. If you know how these things sometimes go. Spin again. That was actually a pretty potent spin. Okay, spin again. I don't know if this is good or bad. Okay. Look, I'll accept it. It's given me live coil. I've got springs. It's not giving me live leaf. So that's kind of a win. If it gave me leaf springs, I would be very frustrated right now. All I have to do is take this as it is. Could be worse. And we have got spin again. Do. Semi-trailing arm. This is one of those things, it could work in a strange way. I honestly do not know. It's probably going to ride high off the ground, so I think this body will be quite bad for that, and I'll probably have to change it to something a little more off-road friendly, let's say. Because that... I mean, you can get it working. I mean, there's things that I think the wheel could do to save this build. I mean, I should probably disable these, because I'm not even on, like, high-performance sport, which are basically coupes, but high-performance ones. So let's try this 2.75. This might look a little better being high off the ground. That's a wagon. I mean, I'd say that's kind of a sports car. Something like this looks like an Aston Martin of sorts. SUV? No, I don't know if there is a performance car here. Like, just an outright sports car. How about this? That looks definitely like a high performance vehicle. Not like an off-roader, but no less. I can cross the bridges when I come to them. Probably not very good for this body, but it's a high performance coupe body. That's what it asked for. I think we can do some things with a visual trim as well, like add massive fender flares, even if they're not functional. It will make it look more like an off-roader, which I think is a route I have to take with this. So we have got we've got two options actually: front wheel drive, or no, we've got front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, or 4x4. That is 3 different options, and we can see what the wheel decides for our vehicle. Oh dear. I mean, maybe there's still hope because it's front engine. Maybe we can build like a rally fighter type thing. I don't know though. It's had to choose rear wheel drive. If it chose front wheel drive or 4x4, it would have stood a pretty good chance off road. But I've not given up hope, okay? We've not got leaf springs. So even though the front is non-independent, we have got some kind of sprung axle. It shouldn't be as far off balance as it perhaps could be. We have got 4 engine options. Or engine type options, shall I say? Have we got V90? I can kind of see a vision for how this could end up. I mean, I'm just thinking Rally Fighter at the moment is probably the closest to what the actual IRL version of this kind of spec would be. But I really don't know how the thing is going to turn out. You know what? I don't know. Usually a V16 would be terrible if it was transverse or it was rear-engined. If we're going to get a V16, this is probably the best time to get a V16 in terms of like engine config. We have got an interesting engine choice. I'll just hide the wheel for a moment. That is a lot of cylinders. There's like 8 cylinders, I think, on each side. I mean, this thing, it will either be amazingly good fun and just crazy, or terrible. I don't think there's going to be an in-between. This body does not like fit in this engine, though. At least in its current config. I'll have to see, because it's going to be massive, being a 16-cylinder, not inline, but V-engine. So, I think if we've got this, and it doesn't repeat numbers. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the numbers we have got. Have we got 1, 2, 3, 4 Alzi heavy? I mean, I'll take that. Maybe it is naturally, as it says, heavier. But it's decent material, and it should handle a lot of torque. As I say, I can definitely see a vision being born. Maybe this thing will just be, like, bad to drive, but hilariously good fun. Yeah, push rod. You know what? I kind of like it. I'm going to be honest, it's not technically the best engine header type, but man, it should make a sound. And we've got 5 or 4, is it? Number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aluminium standard. I'd like high performance, but that's not bad. It's aluminium. It's light. This is actually surprisingly good. Granted, I do think I need a body which has a lot of front end space, so I can hide that. I think we need a body which has a lot of front end space while being still kind of mid-sized. So we've got coupes. Ooh. As I say, this is tiny. I think it's designed for a mid-engine layout, but oh. I think this is like a Koenigsegg or something, but it's designed for a, it actually still seems to sit low. I probably spoke too soon. Yeah. So it's designed for like a rear engine layout, but it kind of fits in the front. Granted, there is no practical interior space there, but it does fit the engine. I think this is like a Mustang one. I would say that falls a little large for my taste. We've got a few. Is that like a Dodge one? I think I used that in 3 meter form before. 2.66. Engine doesn't fit. Now, this is where the tricky part is. Because I'm going to need something that's suitably high performance. That's on the smaller side. I think I want at least 2.5. We've got, let's try the 2.66 one. That does have a lot of front space. This is maybe, this I think is a Ferrari body. It may be from a front engine Ferrari, but no less. This definitely looks like one of the best options we have got. And there's a few different body types, convertibles and stuff. So what was the alternative? Because there was like 2 of these. Is the other a mid-engined one? 2 of these are all at the same size. Yeah, that's the mid-engined one. I think the other is a front-engined one. I think that's the difference between the 2. So, there's our car, front longitudinal. I mean, as I say, it's a Ferrari body, but I think it does take a lot of front engine. Probably because it's a Ferrari body of like the 90s or whatever. So I'll go with the first one. It says coupe. I think this has a convertible roof available. Yeah, detachable or automatic hardtop. But we'll decide that later when I am sure this body is the one I'm using. Because I don't want to rush into it before I'm sure that we will be using this body. But as I say, there is a vision. Even the live axle coil on the front can make some sense. It's front engine rear drive. Not the best for off-roading. But it should have some kind of balance. If we can get this thing to grip. This doesn't fit many at all. I think because of how things have gone before, I don't think I'll go with larger than a 9 litre engine, which this should fit in some way, shape or form. So we've got 8 litres at the moment. We'll remove the 1 because we don't have 1 litre engines. The last time I tried that, it failed, didn't make any power. 6 litres. Okay, we can likely downsize the body if this one isn't good enough, but I still think this is a good body. So I might just keep using this. In terms of like making it taller as well, even in things like that, this body doesn't look like it'll look so terrible as others when it has been raised up. Which is something that has to be done realistically because of a live coil. I mean, you can kind of cheese it with the visual settings, but I don't like doing that because it kind of feels like cheating when the car isn't actually that low kind of ordeal. So we've got aluminium standard, yeah. I mean, it's the only random built car to have a V16. So in that regard, we already have something interesting going on. And it's got a decent engine materials and stuff. Like, even if these materials are terrible, we've got a lot of cylinders to spread out the load across. And we've got forged heavy. Okay. Almost bad, but not bad. Conrod, look. I'm going to take this as is. At least it gave me a forged crankshaft, because I think the crankshaft can be a weak part of these engines in terms of torque load and such. Okay, there is a vision here. They are cast, but they're cast on like a 6 litre V16. I think it's 6 litres. Yeah, 6 litre V16. I think we'll be okay. Honestly. I think this car may handle in a surprisingly decent manner. Oh dear, it's doing this thing again. It loves choosing ones. At least it's probably going to make torque with this configuration. Don't know about high RPM, but just due to the sheer number of cylinders, I think it'll get some RPM. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it could. And I haven't brought the wheel up. Anyway, you see what I've done here. I should have had the wheel up. That was my dumb mistake. It did choose this stuff, though. You'll have to just trust me. Because I don't have much else to go off of. So, we're getting go 1 or a spin again. A spin again. No valve timing. You had one job, wheel. You had one job. So we've got 4 options here and then different sub-settings if we get a turbocharger. Naturally aspirated. Where are all these ones coming from, wheel? You should be able to do something other than a number 1. It's done like, honestly, it's doing ridiculous things. It's not done that for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones in a row. I'm beginning to think there's something wrong with the wheel, honestly. Because it should not be choosing one so many times all at once. Okay, good. We've got fuel injection. If anything, if ever was it time for it to break out of a one kind of chain, at least we've got a good point for it to break out of it. We've got some kind of fuel injection. I was thinking, are you going to choose 1 again, wheel? It did not. Chose to spin again. And then it chose a 1. Oh, why are you doing this, wheel? I mean, it's a simplistic technology. It is still fuel injection. I don't think it's actually the worst at putting out power. It's just very simplistic in its nature. So we'll try spinning it the other way. Give it a nice spin. Not a good spin at all. Okay. This is a very mechanical type of fuel injection. It's not sophisticated. Probably not good for fuel efficiency. But it is fuel injection. And it is per cylinder. So it's not actually too bad. Imagine if it gives me leaded gasoline now. 5, 6. Imagine if it gives me leaded gasoline. That would be a interesting choice. We've got compressed gas. Yeah, LPG. LPG isn't bad at all, actually. I mean, it might make slightly... I think it makes slightly more power than petrol, but slightly less miles per gallon. I think that's how it works. So more power is not a bad thing, and it's not like nitromethane. It doesn't throw all economy out the window. Okay, so we've got number 2. We've got LNG. I don't know, maybe well, I was going to say LPG and LNG. Nitric gas? I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. Because I don't know what the N means. So, mid performance? I can take that. I mean, standard mid, performance mid. We've got a performance intake. I'll accept that much. 5, 6. Let us see what headers it will decide upon. Tubular long, okay. This is good stuff. Not quite race level, but no less pretty good. The fact it chose 1 like 4 times in a row. Yes, thank you, wheel. You needed to choose a 2 here, I feel, just to push that power out of it, and you did. I respect that decision. It's chosen 1 a lot of times on exhaust. You know what? I don't care if we don't get bypass valves. We've got dual exhaust. Dual exhaust is more important, in fact. So, catalytic converter. What will we get, or what won't we get, should I say, if that becomes the case? We have got a decent catalytic converter, actually. This thing is not going to destroy the environment as badly as you may expect for what it is. Although it's not high flow, I don't think that's mattering. We've got dual exhaust, honestly. I'm happy. Because even with it choosing perhaps less than perfect airflow options, we have got a dual exhaust. We have got a muffler, so maybe the noise wouldn't be too obnoxious. It depends. Some engines are just loud even if you do muffle them. We've got a muffler. It's probably still going to be pretty loud. Yeah, as I suspected, the crank is actually the weak point for high RPM. That surprises me. Now, the good thing about the body we've got, it does give us some space to like reproportion it if we want a higher bore, higher max RPM, all that good stuff. For now, we do have what looks like a functioning engine, and we can probably make a lot more power. So this is not going to be weak for power. I think the main reason being it has a lot of size, and it can use a lot of that size. Like, if we look at that torque number in the top right kind of area, those torque numbers are very good. It doesn't make insane amounts of RPM, but I don't think this is going to need to. Because from what I've been seeing with how it's configured, it seems like it's all about making that low-end torque, and that is something that is pretty consistent with this engine. I can just briefly try and adjust the exhaust. That's one thing I will try. Okay, we don't actually need a massive exhaust. Not sure if it's because there's no supercharger or turbo. I do reckon this will probably be the most powerful engine the wheel has built, though, without the assistance of forced induction. It's just generally fairly solid. I am going to have to go more for the off-road vibe, but I do think I've got the correct body here for what I'm building. Because not a lot takes this body all that well. I didn't think I would be going for a Ferrari body, honestly, to take this, but it works. Could try and build like an almost Forza Horizon style off-road supercar. That's the best way I could try and put the ideas I have together to kind of make this prompt work. Yeah, if it went well one here, I wouldn't be complaining, particularly. And is that automated manual? No, we've got a dual clutch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, yeah, so we've got a dual clutch. It can still be cruel, though. No, it is not. We've got enough gears. Before, I believe it gave me a automated manual 2-speed. This is not bad. We've got 8 gears and it's dual clutch, so it should have a half-decent manual mode as well as auto mode. This is a good, overall, pretty modern type of transmission. And it's not even giving me leaf springs. It's giving me live coil, so it's been somewhat cruel, but that is a lot less cruel than leaf springs. We've got an electric diff. Okay, maybe this will put some power down. That's not entirely a bad option to have. So we have 4 options here. Let us see. We have got radial race tyres. Excellent. I mean, it's probably not going to be as much of an off-roader, but I can still pull that look. And this means it's going to grip and it's going to go quick. Tyres are extremely important. They can sometimes save a otherwise bad build from being, well, as bad as it could be. I know now this thing is going to be quick. It's going to be maybe not the fastest it's ever built, but it's going to be quick. We've got intermediate. That's a solid enough tyre. So it's like race tyres for a slightly wet racetrack, but this is still going to grip. Race tyres, for the most part, will grip pretty much all the way. Medium tyres, hard tyres, it doesn't matter too much. As long as they are race tyres, we will get pretty darn good performance out of them. I mean, I imagine, at least from what I've seen on Gran Turismo, which is, I guess, not conclusive, but they wear out a little quicker than other types, and they're a little, like, softer compound. If it is the same as that game, I honestly do not know. But, like, if automation calculates it in the same way, that is possible. And what have we got? Okay, we've got disc brakes. I wasn't paying enough attention, but we did get a good option here. Not the best option, but they are solid. And we have got 3-piston disc brakes. I will take that. Not the absolute best option, but as I say, solid. That was a very weak spin. Look, okay, if you're going to give me drum brakes, this is definitely the way I would take them, on the back. Because this thing, especially being front-engined, I think it's going to take a lot more brake stress on the front. And then we'll go 5, 6, 7 options. Please. Are you going to choose one? No, you've chosen two. Okay. It's inconsistent. It's chosen an off-road skid tray. Look, you have a skid tray. I'll take it. There is aero. I could add... Honestly, I think I'll just do that now. Front rear or... You know what? No, we're going... neither rear or all for the downforce. And let us see. I'm almost grabbing an OBS, not the actual wheel. That would be a mistake. Oh, you almost gave me all. Yes, are we getting it? Are we getting it? Yes, we've got all. Good stuff. So this might actually handle, though, kind of like a supercar, but just one that's been raised up. Before, remember, we had an MPV, which had an excellent engine, transmission, driveline, but it was in an MPV body. Also mid-engined. This car is almost like the opposite. It's a ladder frame and everything, but it's in a sports car body, so who knows how low the centre of gravity will actually be. It probably shouldn't be the highest, though, just because the body sits so low. What it is, it's almost like someone's taken an off-road chassis and put it under a Ferrari body, and I might run with that idea, because it seems like a fun idea to try and run with. I don't know what I'd do. If it gives me steel wheels, that would actually be something I could use to make it work even better for the effect. The tyres are not off-roady, but they're not full slicks, so we might have to do something to try and make them look more kind of, how would you say it, suitable. We've got radial races. Anyway, that pretty much guarantees we're going to have some level of speed. So for now, I'm not going to do the aero properly, but for now, I will just stick some stuff on it. That actually doesn't look too bad. I'll stick some stuff on it to just, you know, give it the functional aero. What's a wing grid like? This one will do. That will do. There we go. So that's going to provide some temporary aero. I actually don't like that. I don't mind that rear wing at all. As I say, the wheel will decide which body type we go, and I think I'm almost certain I will keep this body, but we have got other stuff to go with. They are radials, aren't they? We can go with absolutely gargantuan radials, especially if this body will go wider. I'm not going to do this, like, finally now, but... Okay, this body has some nice widening features. It took 305, though, before I even did anything. 355, 315. Those tyres should be good enough, honestly. I don't think we'll have an issue with that. I found a good body. So we're on intermediate. I don't think I selected wind material. I kind of went forward. I didn't select wind material. So we are going to have to check what wind material we are allowed. At least I did, I did remember to bring the wheel up this time, but at least I did remember to go over that, and didn't just completely forget. We have got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forged. Yeah, as I say, I can see a vision. It's going to be quick, like if it shows different front suspension, this would undoubtedly be a track monster. But it didn't. It chose coil springs, which I won't complain too much. As I say, they're not leaves. They are so much better than leaf springs. I did go back to do the aero, but I do now have to choose the active aero type, if we get any, and the cooling flaps, if we get any. So we don't get active aero. This stuff doesn't matter so much, but the active aero doesn't show up if you don't add the aero. If you don't get the aero or any of that stuff. And we've got cooling flaps. That should help keep it cool at the very least. Yes, it's definitely going to land on cooling flaps, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we have rear seat options. It's high performance sport, though, so I think in honouring that... I don't know. I mean, I could add that as an option. Why not? So we'll go either 2 seats or 2+2 here, while we've got the wheel of 2s. It seems to like adding seats, so we'll have 2+2. Unless it goes with a convertible body which doesn't support the 2+2, then it will just revert to 2 seats. At least I like giving the wheel options, because that's the whole point. The wheel is the main character here. I am just a side character. That's why I'm on the side of the screen. Because I am a side character. So, we've got number 7. We've got a race interior. As I say, visions are being had. And I'm not sure I hate them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe, yeah. So we've got 6 options to choose from. We've got 5, 7. Nope, we don't want that. We need a 6 more than we need a 5. So we've got 3. Is that CD? I think it might be. 8-track cassette CD. Yes, definite visions. Like, I mean, it's staying fairly consistent, other than the live coil on the front, which I think we can work around and still make an extremely good car. Basic CD player. It's light. I'll take it. Overall, like, there's much heavier entertainment versions in the car than those ones it's chosen. And what have we got for the steering? We have got some very high-end steering. At this point, I know it's going to be quick, despite everything. Live coil go a little, they go a little, how would I say it? I think that's because I've got a CD player or something, or a race interior. It doesn't give me as many options here, which is a scary thought. Maybe I shouldn't have been scared. We have got traction control and ABS. If it doesn't give you ABS, though, it can sometimes mess up a car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. But as I was saying, it can sometimes mess up a car. Race tyres basically guarantee it's going to be quick. They don't guarantee it's going to be nice to drive. But I think this car will be at least decent to drive. I don't think it's going to be totally hopeless to drive. There is always some chance here. So we've got 2. Is this that's 1980s, so I allowed 70s onwards. Is it building like some weird 1980s supercar that everyone forgot about? Perhaps for good reason. Because it was never that good. Who knows? It's on race tyres anyway. It's got to be having something on its side. I mean, look, it's focused. It seems to be like at least everything onwards from the live coil front. It makes perfect sense for a supercar of the 80s. It's lightweight. They've chosen like some basic options like safety and stuff, but it's lightweight. So if a little dangerous, the thing is going to be quick. Now we have some options here, up to 6 options. So 4, 5, 6. Do a very weak spin there and let's see what it gives us. We've got progressive. You know what, I'll take it. It's not the absolute lowest end settings. I think even progressive might be pretty good for sportiness. Ah, no. I didn't focus. I'm going to have to spin this again. I didn't focus and I had more options than is actually available to us. I am spinning very weak today for some reason. Twin tube dampers. I think we can make this work. It's not the most sophisticated, but I think we've got suspension we can use. I mean, at this point, it could just be pouring salt in the wound and give us the absolute worst technology here with a suspension. But it's okay. I mean, somehow, maybe this will come out and be the most amazing handling thing we've ever built. I just somehow don't see that being the case. Spin again. Or 1. Okay, it's given us a 1. It's at least giving us a number. And this is what we've got so far. The drivability and sportiness are decent for just something starting out. If I close the wheel away, you can see that. 55.6 drivability and 29.7 for sportiness. And we've got 1 for comfort. It's not very comfortable, but I'll probably get a little better. The brakes are suffering from brake fade. Maybe that's why. We can ramp these up. It's not going to fix the car per se. But we have up to 350mm for braking. That's just on the standard tyres. Wheels, sorry. Granted, if I don't have to make them larger, that's probably good. We have got drums on the back, so they will probably have to be a little larger just to stop brake fade. But I think the drums will do enough of a job. I think they are SLS, aren't they? So they're like the lowest end brakes, but they're on the rear. If we're going to get the lowest end brakes, you want them on the rear. We've got no active ring. All this stuff is sorted for. I do feel like it's asking for an off-road look, though, even if it's not actually an off-road car. Like, what was that Lamborghini, what was it called? Huracan, and they designed it to kind of look more off-roady, even if it wasn't that off-roady and it was raised up a bit and stuff. That might actually be the best option we've got. Make it look something like that. I know it's front engine, not rear engine, but or not mid-engined. But there's stuff we can try and work out. It weighs 2 tons, or just under 2 tons. But despite that, we have got a lot of power. 60% frontal weight could be worse. I'm going to say that now. Like 60% weight at the front is not good, but we could do worse than 60% weight at the front. And I don't think anyone will deny this is a high performance body because it's literally like a Ferrari body. How is this not a high performance sport body? As I was saying, I was going to go check here. I don't actually have any adjustment for ride height. Is that 370? That's what it's going to be. I guess it's just the trailing arm at the back and the live coil here, trying to find a happy medium and desperately struggling. Like 370, it's managed to get 370 and like kind of match itself up, but you can tell it's not happy. You can tell it's not happy to work together. It's like, fine, I'll work with a coil on the front if you insist. Now, we do have the body type, as I bring this up. We are choosing 3, which I think is like soft top convertible. I mean, I don't know if that's not what you would want on an off-roader. The only advantage is maybe the fabric top is a little lighter material. And also it's a ladder frame, so there will still be some stiffness to it just because there's a lot of stiffness in the frame. It's not reliant on the top half of the body for all the stiffness. There is like the frame assisting that. But what type of roof do we get? There's 4 options, so we will do this again. Hidden automatic soft top. Okay. It's definitely a more luxury car, somewhat. It's not actually had that much weight, honestly. It's 2011 now, so it's gone up maybe 50, 60 kilos. It's not near as much weight as I was expecting it to add, given that's a very fancy roof. It seems like a larger car, though. Like, this is definitely where I would say mid-size and not a massive car. I guess there's some overhang and stuff. How far does it fall to the larger side? I think this is like 2.66, so it's not like a massive wheelbase. It's a little long on the front, but the wheelbase isn't actually gargantuan at all. So that's an interesting change of events. Does the engine hang off the front? No. Okay, we can make that shorter. And especially if we're going for an off-roady look, you don't want massive front overhang because it just doesn't add to that in a positive way. I do need to find a colour roller to check this. There we go, that's what we want. Square it off maybe a little. Oh, can I widen the whole body? I don't want to make this like super long on the front, so that's the thing, but I also don't want to make it super long at all. Like, as I say, if we're trying to make this look off-roady, long front overhang, do not do that. We can lower that, which actually doesn't look as off as you might think, because it's so raised up. Lowering that a little, it just doesn't look off. It makes it look almost like a legitimate SUV. I say. It's not really going to... What SUV looks like this, but I've actually got random colour hex generator in my, what do you call it? So it's brought up on as I've opened the page. I'm going to use this, as I did last time. I used it last time because it was pink, but no less. That is a thing. So, enter this colour. We can Control V. It's kind of a gold colour. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I will also add another hex code somewhere. I'm going to just use the roof, even though it's going to be metal. It will be changed because it's a fabric soft top, but for now I just want something I can add the colour to, so we have it for future reference if we generate a colour. We've got like a strange turquoise type colour and a gold colour. I don't know how, but I feel like I can get this working. I definitely feel like there's ways of getting it working. So, we're going to need some wheels as well, because it has allowed me to have... I can't remember the exact technology, but it was like some kind of higher end wheels. They don't look fitting at all. They look a little better, and I could probably make them larger brakes and all that, and still have those wheels actually look decent. So, wheels. It's 18s. I can't lower it, or I can't raise it up. This is just what we're stuck with. And I can close the wheel window. The red colour doesn't need to be there. But we have got to do some design. Now, the transmission, the engine, all that. I think we should just design the engine so we know how much power, and I guess to a point, weight we are going to have to work with. To keep the revs up, I'm going to have to... this V16, I'm going to have to try and make it a little smaller on the stroke. I don't want to go crazy because I think that just starts costing you power, but... Okay, if we can keep it to about 7,200 RPM, I think I'll be quite happy with that. Maybe even if I go to like 7,300 for revs. It's going to make torque no matter what. Because it's gone with like high torque everything in some form or another. Okay, that's actually made us more power as well. 7,300 peak RPM, not great, but we should make some power from it. And this V16, very torque bias. It likes to use that torque. So 338.5. Yes. I mean, no turbos, I don't think we'll need them. I think this just has the brute size and the mechanical fuel injection to survive. Definitely not the worst engine the wheel has built. We don't get valve timing, though. Valve timing is too much of a luxury, which we cannot afford. We're going to get 400 easily. Like, I'm just changing the compression at the moment. I mean, I'm not even getting into any kind of fine-tuning. I'm just raising the compression to pull more power through it. We can probably go a little more aggressive with like the swings and lifters and the cam profile as well, because we have a little excess valve stuff to deal with. We can go up to like 7,200 for the RPM limit, and it will take that. That means we have also got quite a lot of cam profile and stuff to work with. We've got quite a lot of leeway there, because as I say, this is push rod, so it's not going to want to rev out crazy high, irregardless. It's not making as much torque as I would have thought. It's coming along quite soon. I don't want to take that away from it, though. We have a lot of gears. So the stuff here, despite the live axle coil which the wheel has chosen, it's generally quite good. So where is the airflow looking? The valves are pretty high, actually. Maybe that's why it wants a lower number, I don't know. Okay, so we want to lower these a little because it revs up quite easily. I think I want it to be about 7,000 and that should do us well. And then we can try the compression after that. I think it is probably better to have a slightly lower number for valves than 80. I'll leave it on 75 just for the time being, because I think everything can line up pretty well there. There's also the exhaust. As the power goes up, I think we can pull more through this dual exhaust setup. Another way it was pretty kind. It said I don't have to work with a single exhaust to deal with the air from my V16. So I like that. I think we could probably get 500 horse. It's putting out 436, just no sweat. The torque isn't going up. And maybe valve timing would have helped this be a little smoother in terms of power delivery. I do need to see how it sounds as well. So we've got the manifold. I think we can lower that just to get the number up and kind of more matching of the valves and such. So the airflow is a little more consistent. We're doing 15 miles per gallon as well from a naturally aspirated engine. It's built something that isn't actually near as bad as I kind of expected it to be. The race tyres are no doubt going to make this thing a bit overpowered in terms of just brute straight line speed. But that is something. So we have got headers. I think we want these headers to go smaller, which will make the number go up. I mean, even 450 horsepower, I would be pretty happy with. I just don't know how I'm gonna be able, how far I'm gonna be able to push this, honestly. It's making 432 point something 6. I do also need to check the aero. If I can get positive downforce front and rear, I will be happy with that. Very happy. Like, as I say, this engine is far from the worst that's been randomly built. I do need to hear it, though. If I can find the menu, as I did say. We can mute this, or stop it for the time being. Okay. Sounds kind of muscular, and I don't hate that. Exhaust, as I was saying, we can probably raise this up a little. We don't get bypass valves, but we do get a nice solid size of exhaust. We can try making the valves higher, I think, because if airflow is involved with that, lowering that number to about 75, I think might be better for overall airflow. We can also go springs and lifters, but I don't want to raise this too much because it raises the peak RPM. And I don't want that raising too much as I can't really get away with it. I could try and change the engine dimensions. That is at least a freedom point we are given. The torque is surprisingly low, I'll say that. Like, it's a powerful engine and it does make torque, but I was expecting a lot more in terms of torque. So if we don't lose power, I don't see an issue with changing the engine dimensions particularly. Crazy looking thing there. 6 litres is what we have to work with. Quite a large engine. Not quite large for a V16. I was going to check how does this fit in the car's engine bay. It fits in some sense of the word. And I mean, things could be a lot worse. As I say, we've got a Ferrari body, which is pretty forgiving for size, actually, in the grand scheme of things. It's a 2+2 unless that has changed because of a convertible roof. I cannot say for sure. But it was a 2+2. And it weighs 2 tons, naturally. Which is, for this engine, I think it can move it. I don't think it's going to have that much issue. We have got rear-wheel drive only, which is not the most off-roady. It's like they've tried to build a supercar, or like the wheel has tried to build a supercar, but then it gave me live axle coil on the front, which is not leaf springs, so I will have to take it. At this point, I might just cheese it with the chassis controls to get it lower, because it's almost looking very nice. And if that's it, I don't really like doing this, because it feels very cheaty, but if we can do that, front ride height, rear ride height, like if I can do that, it starts looking actually pretty decent. So 13, 12, like if I do that, I mean, I know that's probably gonna, yeah, that's gonna hit through the engine, theoretically raise the engine up. So as long as I don't go too crazy with the ride height, if I go like making it -10, that doesn't look so bad. But like, we're at that point where if you lifted the engine up, it would perhaps be possible somehow. I'll probably work on that basis. Just give the engine a little space to be raised up, and we should be gold for that. And I don't just say that for the car being gold. Where is the body morphs? I can do that now. I mean, you can't really make that too tall anyway. Because it's front engine, I don't see a problem with, like, moving that back. Unless I can't, well, it moves the whole front window back a little, but, you know, I'm taking a Ferrari body and trying to make it do things that Ferraris typically don't do. I think there's still enough space there. I feel like I'm also making it look a little more like a Skyline R32, unintentionally. If we shorten that, it will look actually even more like a Skyline R32. If we can shorten the back of the car. I don't know if it will let us. We can do that. Or that. Yeah, so I've raised that. I've lowered that a little because I think it actually just makes it look better. We can make that about the right width, I think. Because aerodynamics or something along those lines. So, maybe we could even make these wheels larger. As I say, I have cheesed it to be a bit lower than it perhaps should be. But it looks much better. So we need we need some kind of bonnet vent or scoop or whatever. Now, there is reason. There is method to this madness. So that's where we are going to hide our engine underneath. Because we have lowered the suspension. Look, I'm trying to make this somewhat lore accurate to why there is a engine like that. Which is just, yeah, colliding with a front axle. I mean, it's just this car. It's not got an off-road tyres or anything. And I know it is cheesy, but if it makes it work somehow. Now, we have some various stuff here. We cannot adjust the ride. Isn't that funny, though? It's like, you have this ride height and you will like it. At 370mm. Okay, so we go 0. It's under 2 tons now, so that's something. Somehow along the lines it got lighter. It's very quick off the line. We'll go 180.1. I was going to say I'd check the aero. So has the front aero actually attached properly? Because I don't want that aero to be doing nothing and then, you know, not serving its purpose when it comes to providing downforce. So summary, performance. It's making a whole lot of lift. I mean, we can try ramping both these up, but it's still, I think, going to make lift. Yep, it's going to make a lot of lift no matter what I do. That is not good. I mean, I can try, like, cheesing more air onto it, but I don't think that'll affect it, honestly. So we have got 4.10 to 60. I would say it could do better than that, but the thing's weight is very heavy. So I don't think it's a case of it not gripping. I think it's just very heavy. 438.5. And now I'm adjusting the wrong thing now. There we go. So, oh, wait, that's 7800. If I can adjust the crank to kind of match the other stuff for torque, I would call that enough of a win. Ironically, the crankshaft is the only part of this car that is actually forged. Okay, so lower that a little, 7900. Can try maybe lowering it a little bit, or lower this, I don't know. Okay, 7900, I will take that. We've got all 7900 for our peak RPM. That is solid, and we can rev this thing out more now. 7800, so we've got a little space of leeway. And then we can raise the springs and lifters, hopefully raising the horsepower by doing this. I mean, it is pushrod, it's revving out quite high for a pushrod engine. But it's 16 cylinders as well. And mechanical fuel injection. Very strange. But we don't question the wheel. The wheel obviously knows what it's doing. We can maybe lower that a little. So we have got 73% on the valves. The valves have gone down a little for that. If we go and lower that, yeah, we can get 7600. I think 7600 is fine. It is a little on the higher RPM side, but this is how the car likes making power. Cam profile. If we're not losing too much power, I can lower the cam profile. But it's also about the RPM, I guess. I just don't want to lose the torque as well on the low end. So this is a way of doing things. Do we want lower compression? It looks like it. I mean, it's not making an incredible amount of horsepower per litre, but then you really need a supercharger or a turbocharger for that. As this is turning out to be kind of an 80s supercar, it's making power that you would expect from an 80s supercar. We can probably lower the manifold. Again, like, the valves are only on 72% airflow, and this is definitely helping, actually, push more power out of it. Granted, I think I want to lower the springs and lifters because the RPM there is super high, super close to the limiter. And I mean, that does hit the torque somewhat. So as I say, I don't want that to be too much, too high if it's not gaining much power or anything. But lowering that also makes it so I have to lower the springs and lifters to keep the RPM down. Not ideal. But we are getting some torque. And that torque is better than nothing. Because even if the power is getting hit by a few horsepower. So I think 77 is okay. Valves are on 74%, which isn't too bad a number. I mean, as I say, for a 6-litre engine, I kind of expected it to make more high-end torque, so to speak. Because it's making so much power, the torque number is not bad here. But I could have hoped for more. I guess if we had a supercharger, it would be making insane levels of torque, and I could use that to kind of adjust the peak power as well. So we can change the header. I will just be back in a moment to toilet. And I have returned. Anyway, I think the mic is on. So, we can finish, hopefully, building this engine. It's making 450 horsepower. How did I forget that? Anyway, we have got the fuel mixture. So airflow is actually pretty consistent. Maybe make the manifold a little smaller, I think. That makes the number larger. If we keep it on maybe 72, I don't know. I mean, as it says, this is maybe the best for overall power delivery. We're on 73, okay, I'll take that. Then there's the exhaust, which we can make larger. Yeah, that pushes like the number right down, but it's fine. We can then raise the headers up. And we are going to make pretty consistent, good power. I think if we make these numbers to like 71-ish or something. I don't know, they're close enough to the other numbers, I think. We'll save this engine. It's weird because the torque like goes up and then forgets to make torque a bit. And then it makes more torque again. Very strange. As I was saying anyway, we have to do the fuel map. And the timing and stuff. Because the power can potentially weigh here. Lowering it in this case seems to make more power, which I was not expecting. Maybe it's to do with the compressed gas for the fuel type. I think it was LNG, not LPG. So that's something about it. Usually higher timing does make more power, but probably destroys fuel economy, which is not the main goal here, so it's okay. If we can get 460, I will be happy with that. And then there's other stuff we can try adjusting after we've adjusted the timing and the fuel map, like compression. It doesn't like it if I go above 75, because it complains. Automation complains. We've got unutilized fuel octane, so it looks like we'll probably have to make that go up. So the engine is like safe and stuff. The higher timing appears to have made the torque curve a little more consistent. And it does like a slightly lower fuel map, which surprises me. As I say, maybe it's just a fuel type I'm not used to. Prefers a slightly leaner fuel map than the ones I am used to. With these randomised builds, I've ended up using nitromethane a lot more than I thought I would. I think this is the first time it's given me LNG. It's given me LPG before. It chose a pretty good fuel type, I think. Yeah, so that unutilized fuel thingy, I am fuel octane. Getting a little power from it. And then it's kind of dropping again. I can always try, as I say, adjusting other stuff after this. All these tiny adjustments to try and get me extra fuel power and stuff. Okay, now it wants a higher fuel map to make the power. 46 is good. Imagine if the lower timing now made more power. I think this is all good. We're making just under how much? 460? It's not perfect. I think it's a solid enough engine though. Over 450 horsepower, even if it weighs 2 tons, this thing for a naturally aspirated engine should be able to move a car. And I'm talking over the engine sound. But yeah, for what this is, it should move the car just fine. It's, I believe, if I'm not wrong, I believe it's the most powerful naturally aspirated engine the wheel has built. So it has that honour. It's built more powerful ones with forced induction. But as a naturally aspirated engine, this is solid. I feel like I should raise it up, honestly. I feel dishonest doing this, but I have to try and make it look decent. And as I say, I have given a little space so the engine could sit taller if it had to sit over the front axle. Because I'm working with what is available. I think of all the suspension configs though, besides this sitting much higher off the ground, I don't think it's the absolute worst config it could have given me. There is leaf springs on the front and like push rod on the back. That would be a crazy setup. I mean, I think that would fight itself even more than this does. This isn't the best rear independent suspension, which probably, if I'm honest, helps it be a little more balanced with what's on the front. The front brake force is low. How is the weight balance? Have I saved or lost weight on the engine or what? 59.0 front. I mean, I'll take it. It's rear-wheel drive. That's not ideal, but it's also not horrendously out of balance. So we go on aerodynamics. There is no active wing. We can't try and lean on that. We have not been allowed to have an active wing. 4.15, 0 to 60. That isn't bad. I must remind myself, this is a randomised build. This isn't like supposed to be the fastest supercar that I have ever built. It's the wheel building it. Now, how can I tie this into Maxwell? Because Maxwell is our king, so this needs to tie into Maxwell somehow when I get to the design phase. Currently, I am just trying to make the overall drivability and sportiness better. So do we want this to be stiffer? Yes, we do. Even live coil. I think it might just benefit from being stiffer around corners, to be quite honest. But as I say, can we go with 19s or do they look a little off? I think 19s look a little large. 18s look good. And I think 18s you can still get massive brakes. As I say, yeah, you can get like 375mm brakes on 18-inch wheels. They should be fine, especially when paired with the race tyres and disc brakes. It's all collectively pretty good. So what have we got? Have we got oversteer? It doesn't show oversteer. It is front-engined. I mean, this thing kind of looks mid-engined to me, so I just assume it's mid-engined. But the engine is in the front. So, actually, I was just thinking, because of where... Okay, this might make sense a bit. Because if you get all these fine adjustment controls given to you by automation, and you can, like, lower the suspension to unnatural levels, maybe you can do the same thing with raising the engine up. If that's the case... Position X, position Y, and position Z. So, I think if we just get rid of the bonnet temporarily, that's... we won't remove the trim, I don't think, on top of the bonnet, but... No, we need to remove the... bonnet, there we go. That should show where this goes, and if it falls into the kind of engine bay space we want. Worst case, I can add, like, a hood intake, and that will kind of... provide intake right to the engine and look a little off, but still overall work. So, position, I'll have to see. Like, I can't remember what these mean. So that goes somewhere. Oh yeah, so it's not that one. It'll be either Y or Z. So it's not that. I mean, it's fine for the most part where it is positioned normally. I just need to make it higher up in order to, you know, make sense with the suspension and stuff. I think this is something we can do. Because as I say, it's like me trying to make up for my past cheaty methods. So I think what I've done, basically, I've lowered the suspension by 10 and I've raised the engine by 10 here. So I think that might line up using that. I mean, that might have the live coil kind of getting to work. It's not ideal, you know, it doesn't fit the car all that well, but still. Did it say, these settings are static and do not change calculations? That is fine. Honestly, I just want this car to look decent. As I said, there is scoops and stuff, so I'm thinking if I put one like there, perhaps not exactly, but that will kind of make it work. I think there is probably a better one. I think if we get this, but the lower one. There we go. That kind of covers it up decently. I think if I go move that back. I think that does a decent enough job. Like if I can, yeah, that's transparent, but it's not ideal. Like it doesn't totally and completely hide the engine. But it does a better job. Like, you can see there's a piece there, but there's a piece that's getting air intake or something along those lines. I think you can get pieces as well. But that won't necessarily work as I'm hoping, because that whole part is one unit. And it'll, like, have that gold down there regardless. Either way, being what this is, I think I've made it work with the taller engine. So if we just take that out... I have used the visual settings, but I've kind of moved the engine up an amount equal to moving the suspension up. It should all line up now from a mechanical standpoint and not just be totally cheesing it. Because I think, as I say, I think everything is moved up the same amount. Why am I trying to use my hands to show it? It still looks a little raised up, but it actually looks kind of natural now. And it will still corner, like it's got quite a high centre of gravity. But the important thing is, this actually looks like the supercar it's meant to be. Okay, so we have got these settings. Do we want a higher or lower rear sway bar? I would think lower would kind of be better at this, especially since it's independent suspension. We can use this roll to kind of grip it. It's maybe lowering the sportiness, but it's raising the handling, the drivability. As long as it's not completely destroying the sportiness, I think a lower score here isn't going to destroy the car. And then we can try starting moving up the sway bars on the front. The front is where a lot of the weight is, because it's got a V16 in the front. So that is a way of sorting this stuff. we've got 39.9, 40. Now the sportiness is going up. And the handling is going up decently as well. Because even though this is a live coil and it's like a single axle, we want to resist roll on the front as best as we can. I guess technically in reality you wouldn't usually have anti-roll bars on this kind of axle. At least not super advanced ones, they're not advanced roll bars, but you get the idea. You'll be less likely to put anti-roll bars on a live axle, but it offers me the option to tune them, and I want to make this thing corner. I think those sway bars, I would say they're a little high. As I say, this thing is raised up a lot more than it actually looks like it is. So, I'm literally just trying to make this thing work aesthetically. The handling is still good. I think it's the brakes. You don't want to obey the sportiness too much because that can make it slide under braking, which is technically quicker. I won't deny that. It is technically quicker if you can handle it, but then I don't want this thing to be an uncontrollable beast of a car. It just likes having anti-roll, and I cannot blame it for that. So this wants to be quite soft on the rear. It makes sense. We are running greatly disbalanced suspension, so it's bound to be the case that things are going to have to be completely balked, numbers-wise. We do want this to be stiffer, apparently. They are springs, as I say. So if we went with, like, air suspension, for example, live coil will accept that air suspension and work. I think leafs will still just be beams of metal with no sophistication to them whatsoever. Same with, like, the progressive and standard springs. I think leaf springs will always be locked to standard. Hi, Elena. I have cheesed it. This car isn't supposed to look this low, but I used the fine-tuning settings. I basically lowered the suspension and I raised the engine up to try and compensate. It's got, like, off-road suspension in a supercar. It's not great, but I made it kind of work. I am going to put Maxwell in here, naturally. Currently, I'm just trying to get the suspension working so it doesn't drive awfully. But we will turn to doing the Maxwell eventually. That is important. We've got 6.0. Yeah. The sportiness likes having the stiff suspension. If we raise this, the sportiness gets better. So we've got, wait, this thing actually has wide comfort. It has 0.3 comfort. This car is very comfortable. 0.3. Imagine how comfortable it must be to sit in a car with, like, less than 1 comfort rating. It's pretty good, actually, for handling. It just sacrifices a lot of comfort. Oh, the comfort's got even worse somehow, if that was even possible. It's going to be absolutely painful to sit in this. I mean, hey, if you're fast, at least that's a thing. 41.68. We don't want them to be too stiff, but I don't know about how to set this up at all. I think it'll be fast. I don't know if it's going to tip over because of the nature of how it is. So I think we don't want the dampers to be too stiff. I'll use drivability to set the dampers up. And then I'll adjust the spring weights and stuff with the sportiness. The car tends to oversteer. We can fix that. The front dampers are hard. Oh dear. Yeah, the front dampers are very hard apparently. That's not ideal because we want this thing to have some kind of handling balance. Okay, we are getting there. 53.9. There is also to adjust the other stuff, like... it does not like the front dampers being this firm. Okay, that should work. 6.0. We haven't got leaf springs. I mean, I can try and say that's a positive. Now, do we want stiffer dampers on the back? Probably. 42.9. It's not complaining quite yet about the dampers. Now it is. 43.2. It does not like those weird dampers. Okay, something is happening. 5.8. I think that's okay. So got to adjust the anti-roll and stuff. And the suspension is almost done. So despite the kind of balked setup, I think we are onto something. 42.9. We can lower the anti-roll on the front, which I guess makes sense. The springs are now stiffer. If it will allow me to. 42.9. Now it wants these to be so much softer. Ah, there we go, sportiness, so... About that point, it sounds about right as well, 7,600. This thing weighs over 2 tons now, with how it's currently set up. This is not a light car. It's not even made completely of steel or the largest vehicle in the world. It's just heavy. So 2,200, 7,600. Hopefully this heavy engine won't completely ruin my shot of performance. 42.9. How am I supposed to level this all up, though? If it keeps changing the goalposts. I don't want to spend too long adjusting this. For now, that's going to have to do. It's also got a 6600, like the first quad core, the Q6600. Very fast 4.2 0 to 60. We do have to adjust these. They are racing slicks, so they are very good tyres. We can try making the front smaller. It does like that. Apparently comfort was going up as well. I don't know how well this thing says it brakes. Should be very good. Even as heavy as it's 38.4. Somehow I feel we could get a lot more brake performance out of it on these tyres. So, 43.1, 43.5. Sportiness does like the wider tyres. Okay, I'll take that. Those tyres are extremely wide, front and rear, but they are something. So we've got 30, 20, 25. That looks like 30 I think I can get away with width-wise. That looks okay. Maybe move the rears out a little. No, it won't let me move the rears out. Okay. I'll have to take that. Does it want tyres to be smaller now, I wonder? No, it doesn't. How is it accelerating? 4.2, okay. That's slower, that's for sure. Oh, we've got 4.0. We are getting faster. I think because it's heavy and it has quite a high top speed, maybe I could tighten these gears up a little. I mean, it's doing 190, so it's not the fastest thing in the world, but that is not slow. This is 4.0. 53. I think 4.0 0 to 60 is the best I'm going to get, which honestly for the weight of this vehicle I am more than happy with. It's not a light vehicle, so to go this quickly with a naturally aspirated engine, that's not bad. I mean, I can probably tighten up these gears low down. Maybe if it goes like 75 on the spread, so it's definitely like late bias, but it should also be decent on the low end if I lower the first gear. I mean, maybe if I go like 32 to 64 or whatever, top speed. That would mean the first 2 gears, theoretically, are about where you want. First 3 gears, maybe? Yeah, I think if I lower the spread a little... Wait, that lost speed lowering the spread? Very strange. Ah, there we go, 4.0. I have regained my lost speeds. $49 and 87. I kind of want the gears to be more spread out on the later end of the speed. $100. I think this is going to have a lot of low-end speed, honestly. Low-end grunt. But I also do just want it to be good on the higher end. And we have enough gears to make that work. Because I feel it's more likely to struggle to build speed on the higher end. 190 horse. This is quick. Now, the brakes, as I said, were very good. 38.5. But I think we can do better. I think we can make this thing stop even better than its already brilliant braking performance. It's on slick, so I mean, this is not the best that slicks can do. But it is a heavy car, which is also bound to play against it. 32.8. Maybe we should make these wheels larger then. I mean, maybe if I make the tyres larger. I can't really fit larger tyres, though, visually at least. I think 48, they don't look quite like they're filling the gap. As I say, I can't make them any wider, though. I've tried. So the brakes are suffering. The rear brake force is very high. Not the front, though. So we can make them larger, which I kind of have to make the wheels this large just to fit the largest front brakes I can, which is where all the braking is really reliant on. 32.2. So if we make them smaller, do we lose performance? Not particularly. So 99. Now I'll try and have that pad type actually full on race pads. So they're drums. I think what we want is to make these better. I think we just want less rear force. Because the larger brakes are less likely to get brake fade. Which they are suffering from somehow, even at that size. Like, how are they suffering from brake fade, honestly? That is very strange. Unless it's a front suffering from brake fade, which it shouldn't be. They're disc brakes. Maybe I'll just have to deal with the brake fade and accept it as a part of the car. It certainly seems like that's how it wants to be about it. I mean, you can turn brake cooling up, which I don't want to do because of drag reasoning, but there is an option for that. Come on, brake cooling. Brake airflow of that, so it's same thing. Okay, so I can do that, and that will improve the cooling to the brakes a little. At least to stop the brake fade being downright awful. If I just add a little bit of brake airflow. So we have that sorted. I guess there's just no airflow to the brakes whatsoever. Wait, so the brakes are suffering from brake fade. The number I had this at, it was fine. That will have to do, I guess. Do we want more? I don't know. I think this will be fine for braking performance. I don't know. I can adjust it later if it's really bad after I've done the initial drive. It's just a strange thing to build. So, we've got the car model designer and all that stuff. Body panels. I think we want that as a body panel colour, honestly. It's kind of an exciting green colour. Turquoise green, whatever. If only I had like a Miku vinyl. That would just be so perfect for it. And then I think we can have the gold, but we use it on like a fabric material as a... The roof is somewhere. There it is. So if we add a kind of... Because it is a soft top. So we'll need to add this. We actually have the number here. So copy that to clipboard and... Cloth... soft top. Here it is. If we get that and we can add the hex code here... Oh no, that's the other one. I need the gold hex code. Control V. I don't think that looks bad for a soft top, actually, at all. So yes, as I say, we are using the accent colour that it has provided, and it actually does make a very nice soft top colour. Kind of a beige. I could also use that if I do an interior or anything. It would be quite a nice interior colour to match up with this. I mean, maybe not the obvious one for bright green paint, but I can take that. Like, things could be a lot worse than that, visually. So we do have to change the front aero. Come on, adjust the camera. We do have all these pieces as well. Like, they're rear, I think, technically. And I feel if we're going with a performance car, we do need one of these. I don't think that one's going to work particularly on this car. Maybe this one. I know there's no engine to need ventilation, but I think that's going to look pretty cool. Personally. Now, there isn't any, You know what I could do? There's this black trim. I could have that also in this, like, sandy colour. So it's going to be somewhere. All trim panels. I don't want to change all of them. Miscellaneous trim. I think that works quite well. Trimmed in that kind of colour. I could even use it for the wheels, but I'm not sure it would work. I feel like maybe it shouldn't be as sparkly, but I don't know about that really. I mean, that is a colour it has given me. And I feel like it would be ill-mannered of me to not use it. It is kind of like a gold, sandy kind of colour. It's maybe not the obvious colour to have for various trim aspects, but I do think it works. It does give it a very unique look. Many of the wheels randomly, or technically not real in this case, but many of these randomly generated colours can work together if you use them correctly. We're not going to get as lucky as last time with like pink and purpley pink, which I love those colours, but we're not going to get that lucky, but still. This is a Ferrari body, so I could go with the quad headlights. And that would be a thing to do. I do want some kind of interior. So we could move the engine forward. I don't think that will be needing to be done. As I say, we have this fine Fine stuff to do. We won't be hiding the engine. I've worked so hard on getting that engine higher up and to kind of match the axle and stuff. The Maxwell will be added. We can add a bit more window transparency. Go try 0.9, because I am trying to add interiors to this stuff. Miscellaneous, is it? No, body. So if we go chassis tunnel size. I mean, like, I don't think this stuff affects it beyond cosmetics, but still. I do want this to work. I can probably make the chassis tunnel slightly smaller. That's about as small as I could get it, I think. I'll try 0.4. Like, that's small enough. You can see the transmission just about showing through here. But aside from that, I think that's pretty good. And now it's the front firewall I was thinking of. This is actually body on frame, believe it or not. So, I'm going to try and just kind of ignore the fact it's body on frame and get it working anyway. Okay, so we have the firewall, wherever that is, front firewall. I can't move it forward much and get away with it, but I can move it forward a little and kind of cheesing it with the engine, as I say, but I don't think anyone's really going to notice that unless they look super close at the car. So I think we should be fine. The exhaust is now showing through the chassis tunnel. And maybe I need to make that smaller. I mean, larger. Nope, I don't know. We do need to add a pair of exhausts, actually. So that it can breathe. What I might actually be able to do, I think it would look good. I believe, I can't remember what did it, but I think there were some cars, and they had, like, the exhaust go through the tail lights. I think it might have been the Ford, the updated Ford GT. I think that would look very nice if we were to try something like that. And it's all on a body-on-frame car with live axle coil on the front. Who would have known? But yeah, oh, I think that's what's going on there. I think that's so close to the engine that the exhausts are showing through like that. The other thing, I could possibly make the exhaust in, like, the middle and get them to work that way, but if we go do this, this is probably going to be the main exhaust, so I want kind of quad tail lights with these feeding through the middle of the lights. However that's possible, I don't know. So we've got that. I can actually see through the windows, honestly. We're going to mirror this for a start. And this should look a little less insane once I've got it all together. Because I am going for supercar vibes with this. I know it's going to be quick despite everything that's playing against it. I know it's going to be a very fast vehicle. I mean, had to play with the suspension tuning and stuff a lot to get this in a state it could actually kind of work. Now, we have the... If I could have the badges there, imagine that. But it hasn't got the automation badge, it's got the wheel badge that I have invented. I mean, I want some nice looking taillights where I can feed it through the middle, but there's only one set I can kind of think that it would work. And it's these, because they've got like the reverse lights in the middle. I feel like I could kind of warp these, would that be the right term? And the point I'm making anyway is, like, these could work if I do it correctly. Because I can theoretically just make this whole stuff invisible, like, transparent. Like that, exactly. So, yeah, I think that works. There's like a plastic piece there that I think is invisible. Oh, okay. So I can make the lens invisible. I don't think you'll see it though, honestly. I think with that kind of colour, granted, I'm going to have to try and also make the internal light there a bit useless. So So we go transparent there. That means there's not going to be anything going on in the middle. I don't think. I think it just means everything that's there is going to be on the outside. Translucent. Nope. Like, these are cutouts in a way. So as long as I line them up. I think there was brass here. That's what I'm kind of thinking with that for the trim. But I also kind of want chrome. I don't want to just put that trim everywhere. I have used it to accent the green. Ah. Hi, Weevo. The way it is normal. I'll show you what's happened. Because I had to cheese this a lot to actually make it work visually. So it gave me live axle coil on the front, but that sits below the engine. So, you know, to kind of make this actually work, I raised the engine up about the same amount as I raised the suspension up. So it should work. And I mean, I know it's not functionally for the handling and stuff, but it looks so much better actually sitting at a normal height. That was not good. So it could have looked a lot more cursed. That's why the thing looks normal, because I kind of cheesed it and actually made it work in some strange ways. I mean, this is not a failure. I can say that. It's giving it racing slicks, so I can't really see something with racing slicks as being a failure. I am trying to do something here which I think will look good. I did have loads of Maxwells. I've been going through my Maxwell era, so I will probably add Maxwells to this car. Just how am I going to fit these? It has got dual exhaust, so these should be functional. Yeah, I may be imitating a Ferrari's rear end, but we cannot mention Ferrari because I don't want to get sued. It is totally original and nothing to do with Ferrari. I mean, I did remember the Ford GT did something like this with the exhaust, and I thought it would look cool, so yeah. There we go. So the Ferrari is, this is not a Ferrari. I do need to change the colours. I think I'll add some chrome because I have an obsession with chrome. Oh yeah. It's Warfef, yes. I should call it that, actually. What have I done? That wing wasn't even a final, but it's okay. That's just messed with a wing. But that wing wasn't final. It was just like a temporary one. It's Iwarfef. I think I've typed that correctly. Yeah. Yeah, type backwards. Exactly. No one will ever know. You know what, actually, I don't know what... I can't think of any different names now, but we're going to call it the 04F, which is totally not just a backwards Ferrari name. This is totally not just a name of a Ferrari spelled backwards. It's a completely original idea. I wonder if we can go... Can we go shift and select multiple? No. Can do that on some other programs. These exhaust... Honestly, I think the second set of exhausts won't do anything, but they still look cool. I think it'll only be the outer ones that actually function as exhausts due to how automation works. I think I've done a decent job of that, other than the wing, which is just completely out of place and nowhere near where it's supposed to be. I will change that wing, most likely. Yeah, no one ever know unless they're reading it backwards. I don't know if I want to use the like F40 though. I think there was actually some front engine Ferrari. I'll have to have a look because I think I can remember it. Ferrari. I think it was 508. It was not a 508, I don't think, or was it? It's brought up loads of... Peugeot 4... It's brought up Dimensions Peugeot 508. It was something, 550. That was it. It was the Ferrari 550. And that was like front engine. It may have even been the same body as the Ferrari. Because this is a Ferrari body that I've used. So I'm going to call it the, what's it called? 055 EURF. There we go. Because the 550 was like this kind of era look. And this, it was also front engine. So that's the idea I've got. There are also a few avatars. There's like a command you can use to change avatars. Because I've got the Vocaloid ones and I've also got some I made, so... No, sorry, it's the avatars. Yeah, can't copyright. I don't know. So... I mean, I think isn't China, there's no, like, no real copyright laws there or something, so you can just make whatever you want, even if it already exists. I know, I think for some of the companies people have tried to sue, but there is a Range Rover-like thing. It looked exactly like a Range Rover Evoque, but it was a kind of a cheap knockoff of it. And there's a bunch of them like that. There's a V16. Oh yeah, you can't copyright a territory. It is a convertible. So... That is actually... No, you know what? I think actually I've had an even better idea. Because my company is being extra safe, we're going to spell California backwards. So... Einwafila. Einwafilak Iwareth. Yes. Like, we are totally not stealing a Ferrari name here. And we've been extra careful, so we've not even called it the California. We've reversed that as well. I love how it actually sounds like it could legitimately be some, actually some legit car company from a far off territory. I love that. But it is actually literally just the name of an actual car spelled backwards. I think I may have seen something here if I can change the colour of it. There we go, miscellaneous paint free. Trying to go with the colours that the wheel has randomly rolled, and having that like two-tone type thing I think looks quite nice. So, I mean, we need Maxwell here somewhere. Yeah, I think I did see that one. There was a what was it? There was a Ferrari, no. There was a Volkswagen in there was a Volkswagen in China. There we go, my head is not working. There was a Volkswagen in China, and it was like an older Passat or something, or Passat as some people call it, and it was basically one of them, but they just kept making it in China into the 2000s or whatever. The one I'm thinking of, though, it was one of the Chinese companies had literally just copied a Land Rover. Yeah, Volkswagen Santana, that's it. I'm not good at remembering this stuff, but there was that one. The one I'm thinking of, though, it was like literally just a Range Rover Evoque, but I think that was late 2010s or the 2020s. It was an exact whip-off of that, but like you could kind of tell if you look closely it wasn't an actual Land Rover. That wasn't licensed out. Like, that was just one of the Chinese companies. They're probably all the same company, to be honest, but under different names. But yeah, it was one of them. So, I keep thinking what I'm going to do. I want to put vents on the back, but it's actually front-engined. As you can see from the massive lump sticking up there. Oh, you know what I did before? I'll have a look, Landrin, that might be it. I mean, I honestly can't remember what it was called. Ah, yeah, that's it. It's just come up on one of that. So, it was one of them. Don't know the exact name, but it has shown the exact model I was thinking of. And it is an exact rip-off of a Land Rover Evoque. But you can kind of tell if you look closely it isn't one, but it looks like it's supposed to be one kind of thing. Like, Land Rover fans would probably know if they looked at it. But then normal people who aren't into Land Rovers at all just probably wouldn't know. They'd see that and they'd think it's actually a Land Rover. I think I know what I do here. No, we don't use that. There's got to be a grill that will work. I'm thinking this one. If it will kind of fit. No, I need it to be, I think, pretty square to work. Honestly, I forget the model name. I can't blame you for that. Like, I always forget these model names. Yeah, I mean, I think that I can imagine that. I'm not like an expert on the whole Chinese car scene, but I can imagine that they did license a lot out. I think there was what's it, one of these for taxis in, where was it, India? I think they did just use a Morris or something that they'd licensed. Because at the time, they didn't have any of their own companies that could make one of them. Like, they have their own companies now. I think they even own Land Rover. I think they do. Unless something's changed there. Kind of want to give this a mustache. Don't know why. But I have an idea here, and if it works, we can have Maxwell powering our car. I'm just trying to find a grill that actually fits. Yeah, I think it was that. It was Ambassador. I can't remember the make name. But it was an Ambassador. Hindustan, was it? If I'm remembering Hindustan, or however you say it. I think it was that. Don't know why I've just suddenly remembered it now, but that was the make. So, I think this grill might work, and I certainly hope it does, because if it doesn't, I will cry. Well, probably not, but still. I mean, I want to get an interior and everything on these cars now, but I do have to incorporate Maxwell. Maxwell is our mighty leader. Yeah, Hindustan and Ambassador. When I say Stan, it's probably just Stan, but I have to say everything with an accent, it seems. Okay, so no, I'm going to just select these on here because it's easier. And then we'll go move them forwards. And also, I have to move the exhausts forward a layer because I want them to, like, hide what of the taillights there is left. I mean, they're not the best, that's not the best, like, grill combo type thing I've done. But for now, it will work. Because we have important things to do with it. As I say, Maxwell is our great leader. Oh yeah, there's, honestly, a lot of these cars find their way halfway across the world. I did see a few of the, Australia has a lot of the Japanese cars to get. I think they might just be fairly close to Japan and that might be it, but a lot of the used Japanese cars end up in Australia and New Zealand, so sometimes things do just find their way into other countries over time. I mean, I believe there was a time where the older Mercedes were finding their way into a lot of places just because they were extremely reliable. So people could keep them going for not a huge amount of money. And that was desirable. It's kind of desirable to me as well, but Sometimes people in the West just want whatever's new and shiny. And that's why they're able to do it. Because people in the West just see old car we don't want anymore. So this will make sense. It is for our King Maxwell. Because there's no engine in the back, so we might as well use this for a window. That fits in quite well, actually. Our little Maxwell chair fits in far better than it has any right to. Our king must be looked after. So, yeah, you don't see many Indian cars here. I should have mentioned that. I should have opened with that. But you don't see many Indian cars here. I think because, as I say, if a lot of them were older, like, English designs, we kind of already had them here. So, I guess people didn't feel the need to buy a car which, like, already existed on the used market. If it was, like, based off something English. Mind you, there were some versions of Datsuns from Japan, and they were like sold as cheap cars. Oh, the name is escaping me again, but there was some company. It was like they were selling slightly older Datsun designs. So, I mean, there's something to do there. Like, something I think you can remove that with, or stretch it out or something. Rear wheelbase offset. That's a way. No, I don't want to do that. Don't want to mess with that. That's a power I cannot understand. I think I'll just move this. If I move that bench out a little, I think we'll be good. The one I built last time, though, that was kind of cursed after I started putting all the Maxwell bits in. I'll have to bring that up in a moment. Yeah. I think because, again, because it was like former British colony, however you decide to say it, I think that's also why they have they drive on the side of the road they do. And I think, the funny thing is, I think America as well. America does a lot because, like, they don't want to be British. So that's why I think they have the telephone wires underground, I think, and the power lines above ground. I feel like it's just an act of rebellion because they're just so desperate to not be English that they just changed a lot of stuff. I mean, I feel like sometimes if things work, they're done that way for a way, whether you like it or not. Like, some things are done, wherever they start out, they're done because it makes logical sense. This is our Princess Maxwell carriage. It's got a 2-speed transmission. Otherwise, it's amazingly good. Yeah, the Americans do not like being British. And it's crazy, though, that they just... So much about that country seems to have changed just to, like, not be British. Yeah, this is... this was a suggestion. I got... Maxwell has a nice coffee cup because I couldn't find a tea thingy to go with him, so I used coffee instead. And he has a book, like Maxwell's Adventures, in his little nest. The car is powered by Maxwell, by the way. That's why this car is... that's why this car has a Maxwell in the front. He is the thing that powers it. We don't talk about, like, the transverse V10 beneath him. It is actually powered by Maxwell. And then we've got more Maxwells. We've got, like, 3 Maxwells in the kind of interior here. And we've got 2 Maxwells back here. And we also have a Maxwell bobblehead. And it has a princess crown, naturally. I mean, I really enjoyed building this. So I'm hoping I can build something similar again, or as much as I can with like a high-performance sports car body. Yeah, the gain independence and it changes. The independence changed you. I don't know quite how, but ever since you were independent, you just changed, and quickly. I don't know, something like that. There's the exhauster going through Maxwell's bed. We'll have to fix that. So, body. Oh, the seat is sticking up again through the bodywork. I did realise, here's the thing. I feel like I've been enabled greatly by the fact that this seat is basically a cat bed. And yeah, you can do a lot with that. So, body. Yeah, that is a body. That is missing now. Actually, we have these armrests. Could I do something with this? If I were to turn it... I need one that's not got any, like, anything on it, so pretty plain one. No, I don't think they're gonna work. There's always like armrest things in there. Yeah, like these seats are literally the best cat beds you could ask for in this game. And they weren't even designed for that. They were designed for like vintage vehicles from the 1930s or whatever. But I realised something. These seats can be as much cat bed as you want them to be. So, we don't want to remove the bonnet, we want to remove that piece. I could actually use the trim colour as well, like I did before. It gave me 2 pinks before. I was a very lucky man. Is that, yeah, that's like snapping there, and I don't know why. Is it seeing itself as being in the centre? Oh, wow. I went on mirror. Okay, that's strange. There we go. That will do. No, that won't do. Like, I don't know why it's doing that. I could just make it smaller. Easiest way to fix the issue. This should be a suitably sized bed for Maxwell, our king. So... there we go. The exhaust kind of going through it. I'm not so sure I like that. Because it actually, does the exhaust go to that other... I think it does. I think the exhaust goes to both tail lights. I was not expecting that, and I'm not going to complain. So we change the colour. I mean, that's like the convertible roof colour. So we'll add another paint colour there. There's leather, there is cloth. There we go. So that's one of them done. On car. I think that's the vinyl roof. Yeah, that's cloth. I need to rename this because I'll always forget. No, that's soft top. That's not cloth. I think basic paint mode. There we go, cloth. No. Yes, it's changed it. It was just being slow. And I'm normally the slow one. On car, cloth. On car, cloth. That looks, I don't know. The metal's showing through, which isn't ideal, but I think it'll work. So that's our little window towards the Maxwell nest. Now, I think it's in 3D if we find the Maxwells. 2005 fixtures. Maxwell. I think it's on 3D. Yes, it's on 3D. Maxwell. Our leader, Maxwell, will be in the back. I feel like maybe I've made him a little too tall. You know what? His ears seem to be pointing out. It's not his problem. It's not Maxwell's problem. It's the car's problem. That much is clear to me. Maxwell is never the issue here. And Maxwell is not in. Yeah, so his ear and his head sticking through, that's the car's failing. Actually, maybe I can fix that with the wing. So I think I have an idea here. If I can find the correct wing to do it, maybe even a Porsche wing. Yes, that gives Maxwell some extra space. That gives Maxwell a little extra space. But it doesn't quite fit as I wanted it to. Yes, that looks good. That is the one. Maxwell needs the extra space. We need extra downforce. I think we can reach a compromise. There's a vent underneath there. So that is something. Maybe if we make that shorter. I think it's just too wide, honestly. There we go. That is a wing. Maybe we could add another Maxwell window. Well, it doesn't go to anywhere if we do that. If we had a sunroof beneath this, or even just a grille. If If we had a grill beneath that... And we still don't have any ventilation where it's actually needed on the front. But that's not... That problem doesn't regard Maxwell. What have I done? I've selected the wrong piece. So we can remove that. There we go. I mean, I could raise the seats up here on the side. But I don't think we'll need to, particularly. Maybe that's, Well, Maxwell does have a bit more space now. But he can't see out the back. This is a serious issue here. We are facing serious issues with this design. Oh, I think I know what I'm doing wrong. It's a grill. Like, the grill is too deep, and it's blocking out Maxwell's view. That's strange. Like, that doesn't work. Oh dear, I'm messing up. Perhaps... Perhaps if Maxwell goes here... I mean, that is Maxwell's house, of sorts. I mean, there's a sunroof, which could perhaps work in that regard. Oh dear, Maxwell is still poking through the roof. At this point, I'm going to get lazy and lower him a little. There we go. Maxwell has a nice little sunroof of his own now. And his ear is still poking through. I also feel like we could do this on the back. Because at least that way he would have a window and he wouldn't just be out in the cold. I think I've grabbed the wrong thing again. Then Maxwell can get a better window here. There we go. I think that's actually a better window. can't remember which one it was, though. That one, maybe? It was one of these transparent ones. I think it may have just been that. But I don't know. That one looks less transparent. I think that's it, maybe? No, I don't know. Found it. It's almost certainly this one. Yes, Maxwell. This is your home. Can probably remove that grill. That's not really doing anything. And then we can fit the wing on the back. There's lips, and it's not lip, it's a spoiler I think we need. They all provide, I believe, the exact same amount of downforce, so regardless of which one you go for. Maybe if we go and make that shorter, will that fit? No. Okay. Maybe if I go 3D, will that be working better? I feel like there's got to be something that fits. I just don't know. I don't know how to go about this. That one? That's one of the better ones, I think. But then it just wraps around the whole car. Alright, so I think that's what I need to do. I think I need to lower it. Like, that's the best I can do at getting this working. If I flip it upside down... I mean, I don't quite know how this is going to make downforce, but it is. There we go. Somehow that's going to make downforce. I guess we just shouldn't ask why or how it makes downforce. It just does. Downforce happens in a way. No, I did. Okay, I did have this working. See, that one worked, but I guess that's the best I'm going to get from it. We must honour Maxwell's needs. Now, Maxwell will make any car he's in a lot more powerful. So we could add a couple of Maxwell power in the front. No, I didn't think I added it that way. I think I went on the wrong thing and didn't actually add a Maxwell. Gonna need to sort the front area out now as well. I did the rear. The rear has some kind of downforce parts. I've had an idea. I've had another idea. I need to get the style of this, not style, the size kind of correct. I think this Maxwell is too large for what I have intended ideas. Because this car is very powerful though, we need to power it with Maxwells. So we're going to have the Maxwell's. Honestly, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to try and mirror the Maxwell's. I can't even say Maxwell now. How many Maxwells, I wonder, can we actually fit, though, in this engine bay? We need a lot of Maxwells to make the power. There we are. Maxwell's. This is what engine bays were designed for, I am sure. So we've got 8 Maxwell power. I wonder if the bonnet will go on after they all are here. Probably not. Nope. I may have put too many Maxwells in here. Waha! Maxwells will fit. Actually, maybe I could make this work better as well. Maybe if I go gradually raise the Maxwells up. So wait, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Maxwells. I can't get as many as cylinders but on the engine, but still. This car has all the Maxwells powering it. Fit a lot of Maxwells. That's how you know there's a lot of engine bay space. All of the Maxwells. Now, we need some headlights. I think I have an idea. How will I find something that fits? Will they fit? They're on 3D. They need to be on 2D. They don't actually look too bad. I mean, they could look a lot worse. Could probably move them out. I don't know if I'm quite doing this correctly as I should. They are lights. They are lights that do the heads. Can probably pivot them a little. There may be different versions that work better in this particular config. If only I could get M lights or something for Maxwell. I don't think we can. They don't look too bad. I don't know what I'm supposed to be going for, though, visually. I don't think they look too bad. I think they kind of suit it. Can probably remove that front end. We actually do need engine cooling on the front. I seem to forget that. Unless automation isn't fussy and like engine cooling is engine cooling regardless of where it is. Then we've got like a vent at the back, even if it is just the Maxwell window, and we've got another vent there, which is blocked off, but anyway. Oh, we've got the Maxwell whiskers sticking through. I've not contained the Maxwells correctly. If we can move them in. Those are some nice blades. I think if I go something like that, yeah. That's counted as aero, even though it doesn't actually seem to add any. So that might actually be my best option. Just allowing that to kind of blend. Looks kind of sad, as it is. The thing is frowning. Come on. I need to size this correctly for the body. So we don't want that. We want that's just a gap. That's not even a grill. I quite like that. A Creators Premium. Or something to that effect. That seems to have gone down, the bodywork. I feel like I'm building a C6 Corvette at this point. Not my intent, but it looks vaguely like a C6. And not the Citroen. The Corvette. So... yes, the Maxwells need hiding a little better. I can't seem to find the Maxwells. Move these ones back as well. There we go. Now the Maxwells are in the engine bay, powering it. The whiskers are still going through the front, though. I can't seem to even put Maxwells in the engine bay nowadays. It's not too much to ask, surely. There we go. Could probably fit a middle Maxwell. There we go. All the Maxwells will be in this engine bay. We must lag many copies of BeamNG. We must also make a powerful vehicle. Maxwell's make a vehicle more powerful. This is true. Ah, hi. Well, this is a time to come back. Maxwell's making our car powerful, basically. That is our scene. Yeah, I've got some engine ventilation, but mainly I've been adding Maxwell's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it calls it in the game, actually. I'll see what it calls it. So, no, it just calls it mod. It doesn't. It is Maxwell, though. Or sometimes called Dingus, but it is. That's the cats. There is also one in my summer car. No, my winter car, I mean. Probably one in my summer car. But I've got one in my winter car I can carry around as well. And I also built a car in a grocery store there. So that's a way to build a car. It was warm, okay? So we need... Ooh, Alfa Romeo grill. This might actually look good, and that's probably something I'll hate. Actually, the other way up. I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to think of that. I do want to give it a mustache, though. I think there's a grill I can use. That's kind of like a mustache. Totally not unalive. No, look. These are what these provide the horsepower. The engine is just there for the engine is just enjoying its time. It's actually the cats that are powering this car. The cats are totally living. And there's the one in the back. That's our king. The others are all his loyal subjects. That's why they have to power his carriage. There we go. I'm trying to make this look like a mustache. Because I feel it suits the car somewhat. Actually, we can have that continual line maybe going down from the headlights. It actually looks better than it could. It's slowly looking slightly less like a Ferrari. But I'm not sure that's a good thing. My C5 does have a mustache. Like if you looked at the X7 generation C5, I think actually has a mustache on the front. Abandoned car, yeah. Abandoned car with all the Maxwells just hanging around. I kind of wanted to make a Discord, what's it, emote response thingy, and it's just a Maxwell with a halo around. I don't know, like, I'd have to size it correctly and everything, but I could do that. We have all the interior stuff. There it is. If you can change the backrest of this a separate way, maybe that could work. And I've gone on something else. I've not clicked on what I actually meant to. So we can make a lot of this stuff transparent, and then we'll have a good seat. Can make that invisible. And make this invisible. I have no idea if this will actually work. I'm just hoping. Needs to go on 3D, I think. I mean, I thought when I first added like little grill, I thought the car looked kind of upset. I mean, it looks kind of happy. It's got a mustache anyway, so I have to have a mouth below the mustache. Kind of a proper mouth. I don't know if this will provide enough cooling though. I've been focusing too heavily on Maxwell. Probably going to hate myself for saying this, but I might want to go with less Maxwells. More Maxwells. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I just don't know how it will fit all of the Maxwells in. At least they do look comfortable. I could actually just stack the Maxwells up. It won't seem to let me grab them though normally, so I have to go in the selector and get them that way. The issue is I move those forwards. Not enough. Oh dear. Maybe, actually, maybe if I get this bench I had, I think I can make this work. Yeah, I will add some on the interior, honestly. I do have to get to the interior, but I will add some on the interior. Believe me. Can never have too many Maxwells. Well, that's what I say as a crazy cat guy, but... yeah, Maxwells do make things better. I think they are gonna show through the bottom. Well, you know what I can do? I can make the Maxwells smaller and then they will fit. It is kind of a cheaty way, but I feel like I'm making a Maxwell farm. It's like I'm making a farm for Maxwells. These Maxwells don't like each other, so they're facing away. They actually do fit. Yes. It's the automated embodiment of how many Maxwells would you like? Yes. I need to find the other bench. There we go. Like, we can move that down. This also, I think this lower grille provides downforce from what I can tell. Well, I mean, the thing's going to make lift either way, but anyway. I want to make this comfortable. So if there's that space, when there's space, we have to put a Maxwell. I feel like that should be a rule. If there's space, we have to add a Maxwell in it. Imagine being on the VMG mods page and you find a massive file and it's just massive because there is like loads of Maxwells inside. That's probably something that would happen. I haven't actually changed the colour of that to match. This needs to be the same colour as the other stuff. It is the rule that we must obey the wheel's colour scheme, so the Maxwells get this. So we've got this, I do have a reason why I'm getting this 3D square. This is... I think this is enough space, as I say, for smaller Maxwells. I mean, I've already got the backrest up here, so regardless of what I do, so I feel I might as well try and use it for something. I don't don't think there's much else I could do. There's other ones. This is a little squared, but I think it's going to work well enough. Cloth, and we have more Maxwell space. That's too many Maxwells, slow down. Where did I put these Maxwells? I found them. Can mirror that one around. I mean, look, this is what they do when they actually give me engine space. This is what happens, okay? You should not give me much engine space to work with, or this is what happens. I fill it with Maxwells. I feel like these Maxwells do need a window though to look out of. I mean, hey, the Corvette C6 had a window on the bonnet, and that was front engined, so I can try that. Should work. There we go. Various sizes of Maxwell, all in my engine. They do not have a lot of space down there. I mean, I could try and move them. How far out can they go? I think they can go quite far out. Okay, these Maxwells do get a little more space now. I don't think that's a bad thing. It'll be one of these. There we go. Now the Maxwells are a little more comfortable. I feel like the wheel was basically giving me a sports car to say I couldn't add Maxwells. Yeah, Maxwell will come to your house at 3 AM and tell you to like and subscribe. And he will not stop until you like and subscribe. It's the only way to stop Maxwells. So we can make that smaller. I think these Maxwells are comfortable enough. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. I could actually add a bit of cloth or something here to make it more comfortable around the engine. Turn this into a proper cat bed. There we go. What would my younger self say if he saw me now putting a million cats in the front of a car? So we've got those. These ones need to be flipped the other way, I think. having a nice meeting, but there just happens to be an engine in the way. I wonder who put that engine there. Honestly, I think I can say one thing. I think I can say I'm making better use of this engine bay than Ferrari ever did. There's the other side of it, I guess, is the mechanics, like... yeah. Where you got a lot of tuxedo cats. I mean, I was thinking, though, the mechanics who have to work on this, they'll open... Wait, so I put the body back on. The mechanics, they'll open this, and then they'll see loads of cats hiding out. Like, imagine you open a bonnet to, like, change a spark plugs or whatever, and you just see this. So that's a way of doing it. Honestly, it's probably better to have that off just to finish off this design. We do have the benches somewhere, which I can use to good effect, I believe. Oh, it can apparently rotate by holding shift. I did not know that was a thing. The cats are teaching me things. Yeah. Hi, gonna leave. We things are happening. I mean, hey, at least at least Elena is used to my Maxwell insanity by now. So that's something good, I guess. I'm forcing people to join the cult of Maxwell. You may not have subscribed to join the cult of Maxwell, but you're going to join it anyway. Why does this song have a load of like text-to-speech going on? It predates TikTok and everything. It's from like a game in 2004 or 2005. Just a normal car with a normal engine. There's nothing unusual going on here at all. Somehow, like, I took a prompt which honestly wasn't that cursed, and I made it cursed. But I made it cursed, I think, in the best possible way. Maxwell's. There we go. And I think... There we go. Yeah, this is an Enfusia professional racing music, which is a PS2 game. I mean, there's good music out there. It's like, I feel it's just a typical thing to use Nintendo music, but believe me, I know enough about Nintendo to know I do not want to mess with their IP. So I found my other stuff. I could probably actually make the scoop a little narrower, so we have more space to frame up Maxwell and friends. Sakura, how many fingers am I holding up? Sakura knows... Well, Sakura did say I should go to jail before. For cheating, so... that's a thing. I can just, like, duplicate these seats, honestly. It's the easiest way I can think to do it, and then rotate them, I guess. Not on that axis. I will find an axis I should rotate them on. Okay, that's what we need. I need to find where this goes. Okay, I think that will do. Is that a yen symbol? I mean, well, I'm not one to speak. Sakura should know. That never happened. The yen symbol never happened. It doesn't exist. It's weird though. Why does Sakura just not answer some things? It's like it's become self-aware. Because sometimes, like, sometimes the 8-ball thing, it just doesn't answer. It just decides not to answer. Don't even know how that became a thing. I think I'll have to get rid of some of these cats on that area because they just don't look white at all. Like, they just don't fit. If I have two, they actually look kind of comfortable. So this is the engine window. I think I need to find some new music. I know. Is this the end? I don't know. I'll check in a moment. Oh yes, it is the end. I mean, I thought of something random I could play. Which is naturally not Nintendo. It's the Simpsons Hit and Run playlist. Like, it's the most random thing I thought that I could play. But it is technically video game music. There is Gran Turismo music I've used as well. That's very good. Hopefully this music is, like, goofy enough for all the Maxwells and stuff that's going on. I can't reach me Maxwells. That music, I think it was like 3 hours of Infusia music, so it wasn't a short playlist or anything. I've just been messing around with the design for that long. I mean, it makes 450 horsepower. It's actually quite a powerful car. I might have to extend that outwards to make sense of it. That kind of works. I mean, as I say, that front thing should give downforce, even though it doesn't look like it. Could give it a smile to go with a mustache. I feel like I should hate this squirrel, but I don't. That smile looks kind of cursed. It's the kind of thing I should hate it, but I don't. Can go with some chrome, I think. Because it's a luxury car. Then I can take the bonnet off and see all the Maxwells. The power of Maxwell. The power of Maxwell compels you. Oh dear. Can you see all the Maxwells through here? Actually, I need a bigger grill. Or even not a grill, I just need like a window or something. Okay, now my monitor has a turn off power in 1 minute. No monitor, we don't do that. I think I can still get a better grill though. I could probably fit some like extra fog lights on this if I turn this the other way up. It looks kind of happy. Yes, Maxwell. If I could get this to look more like some kind of glass or whatever. I did use a sunroof before, and that actually got pretty good glass effects wherever I've used it. So I think I'll just try and move one of these down and put it underneath on the lower layer. So move that forwards. Nope. I think I need to put the sunroof in position first, perhaps. Nope. Yeah, so I think if I put these in place to begin with, and then I adjust the size and stuff. This music is perfect for doing evil things. It's like the perfect comically evil thing. Ah, so the sunroof is like that. I think I might have a way of getting around this as well. I have ways of making cursed designs. I mean, there is a grill here, so it's technically going to offer cooling, if you think of it that way. I think I don't think I want that uncovered. I think it just catches at a really awkward point. So if we go, there's the 3D, where we first found the Maxwells. I might just find a square grill, because to be honest, trying to work around this is just harder for no reason. We can go with like a dodge grill. That actually kind of looks like a window pane. It's perfect. So then we can go and make that transparent. That's on layer 2. This can also be on layer 2. Don't know why that's tearing through the bodywork. Don't think we want chrome here. I don't think it'll work. Need some headlights. Oh dear, I resized that in a completely wrong way. I think if I get that, there's a piece here I can change the colour of and that'll make it work. There we go. We have all the lights here as well. That's almost like a reference to the first car that we all built, but with more Maxwell. I'll try and check that the error is working. Oh, it's making a lot of rear downforce. Or, let's say, a less than terrible amount of rear downforce. It doesn't seem to be making much on the front, which I do have a way around, which I used on the biblically accurate minion. Which is a real name. And there is also space next to the Maxwells to get it working. So, the lip spoiler, that can go to use. It'll also like level it out, I think, in terms of making the overall design function. Do, 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 do. Things are being learned. So this can be mirrored. There we go. It's not the perfect kind of grill things I've ever done, but they are grill thingies. They are mirrored. Oh yes, this should provide us some nice downforce. And we've still got the interior to do after all this. There is a lot of, like, front lift. I have to try just throwing a wing on here or something to see if I'm messing up. And it's, like, not making downforce because there's no downforce in a specific location or something. So that should work as a starting point. Nope, it just makes a lot of lift on the front. It's not the worst place to make lift because we are still getting downforce on the back. Or not downforce technically, but we're getting a lot less lift on the back. And the engine weight is on the front. So it's the kind of thing I can make work. Now, have we got aerodynamics? If I lift that, okay. I think I'll just accept the front end lift and have... Accept there's going to be a lot of front end lift and have a little downforce on the back. Oh no, now there's loads of downforce. Make your mind up, game. So now it makes some downforce on the front and the back, which is excellent. And now it doesn't. I don't know what's going on with this game now. And the aerodynamics and stuff. It doesn't go down as you would expect. Now there's a lot of front downforce and nothing on the back. Okay, so let's try going to about 90 on the back and see how that levels out. So we've got 83. We are finally approaching somewhat decent aerodynamics. Because I wanted to make some downforce. I just don't want it to make masses of it. We're almost there. So lower the front wing angle a little. No, don't lower the front wing angle. Just raise the rear. That will do. We are making front and rear downforce. And the stream avatars are getting, like, jumping around the screen. So, this is a way of building a car. Actually, I don't think it's going to drive that badly, to be honest. The brakes are showing slight brake fade. I have mostly fixed that. The moment I tweak the brakes too much, though, it suddenly just gets terrible. I feel like I could ramp up the front force. No. I mean, the brake force is good. I guess it's just because this thing weighs over 2 tons. Half of which is probably Maxwell. That's probably all the Maxwells are weighing it down. I feel like that should be canon now. Yeah, and it also can have the same load capacity pretty much as the weight of a car. I'd say that's kind of impressive. Maxwell, we've got downforce, we've got all the good stuff. I think this has indicators in the main headlight cluster. It also has some of the beige stuff showing through, but no less. We can now start the interior. Oh dear, why is it taking so long? So, there is a carpet thing, I think, somewhere. There we go. That's what you can use to change this, and it's going to be a little more convenient. All of the beige. That doesn't change underneath or anything, which it is on a ladder frame. Because as every performance car should be, it's on a ladder frame. So I think we go, we're going to need some kind of mirrors. I don't know what era this is even supposed to be. It looks a little modern, but it's kind of crazy. I could put the most generic mirrors on ever, honestly. Solar panel, and that's... I don't know why it's a solar panel. I don't know why it's under the mirrors menu. I think I've used these before. They're just generally quite good looking mirrors. They're off the Pagani, I believe. So if we move them the other way, I think we're looking at having them on the doors, personally. Lower them, maybe. Don't know about the carbon fibre. We have that colour. I think I'll just make them fully green, honestly. Green, blue, turquoise, I don't know. We will have a Maxwell on the passenger seat as well. There is interior 3D. We'll be putting some seats here that aren't from the 1930s for once. There is full out race seats. I don't think we need race seats. I think we just need something that looks decent. I think we used these before. Sports 01 full. I believe we've used these ones on the MPV thingy. The Maxwell Princess Wagon. Princess carriage. I don't think these want to fit in the car all that well. I mean, it is pretty low. It is the Ferrari body. I need to remember that. It's very low because of that. Ferraris never really sit high off the ground, so naturally they just aren't going to have the same, not proportions, but just features, should we say. The I see a perfect opportunity for a cat bed. I think it's supposed to be a 2+2, but how could I resist having a cat bed shaped space used properly? I think the seatbelts are supposed to go in the middle of a seatbelt like fasteners. So we will mirror that. There are seats a thing now. Yes, there is Maxwell beds specific size thing there. And 4.1 seconds to 60. Okay, considering how basic the interior is, it's actually kind of heavy for all the basic stuff it's got. So, those seats are in place. I mean, I could make the seats a different colour, but they are black already, and that kind of stands out, so that's something. Ah, we're going to see if it's a 2+2, which I think it might be. Yes, it is. So we're going to have to... I can make a Maxwell bed in the back, but I'm going to have to make sure it fits 2 Maxwells. I think that's what it means by 2+2. And... Car model designer. I think this is actually going to be kind of easy for the interior because we've not got as much to do as the Maxwell Princess wagon. Now, there are these. There's full sets somewhere which I believe could be useful. Gonna have to mirror them, but... Is this, I don't think the music's insanely loud. So if we check the body, want to move these out a little. The ladder frame probably doesn't help with making this low, honestly. So that should work. Make these the same kind of beige. Can probably keep the edge pieces on being that black colour. We actually have this. If I can play my cards right here, I can make this a lot easier to create. Like, it ain't going to be perfect.
You can watch ad-free, offline, and in the background. And listen ad-free on
It ain't going to be perfect, but, when is anything I make perfect? Okay, I think we can, flip them the other way. That should work in our favour. Provided it is, yeah, spaced out quite well. Is this, need my weird goofy music? There is our Maxwell bed in the back. I mean, it doesn't line up perfectly with the wheel wells. I think I'm past worrying about that at this stage. Now, there is these. At least, as I say, most of this stuff is already in place in one form or another, so I can just, like, copy and paste it. Just drag them out like so. Ah, I'm grabbing it in the wrong way. I think we want to raise this up about as much as we can. There we go. You can't see out of the back window, but I don't think that matters as long as Maxwell is comfortable. You know, we've got to get our priorities right here. There we are. I would say, I think I can squeeze even more Maxwells into this design. But I've probably gone far enough already. We do need the +2, because the wheel said it should be a 2 + 2, so we need to fit 2 extra Maxwells in the back. As per what the prompts obviously meant, I'm sure. Can we, yeah, we can grab him. We can have another Maxwell. The King and Queen Maxwells. Can move him against the back of a bench there. Oh no, we need to fit 2 of these in. Well, I guess saying it's a 2+2, we do have a Maxwell behind as well, so I think that's fine. Yes, this is perfect. We've got our Maxwell farm, ever making all the horsepower. I would say we need vents on the side. Honestly, at this point, it's not the worst idea to have some extra ventilation on the edge. I feel like I'm missing something here. Those vents don't appear to go anywhere. Maybe they're fake vents. Oh well. No, they do. It was just the angle they were at the time. There, that grill is totally functional. Its purpose was to guide air into the vents on the side. And totally not just to show off our Maxwell collection. I think if I make this a little smaller, width-wise. Wait, it's on 3D. That's why it's having issues. It's on 3D. Should have been on 2D mode. Can we pivot that? I think I've got on both sides. No, we haven't. So if I just mirror this, it should be suitable. All the airflow we should need is here. So I think if we drag these across, can probably remove the body for now. Have we got... No, that is still not, like, in the right positioning. Okay. Now, it's like, if I don't do this correctly, though, it sticks out of the bodywork. Not an ideal way of doing things. Okay, I'll take that. That fits well enough. So I think also we have this floor pan. I think I'll make more beige. We could actually have that as body colour. Or we could just use the same cloth. I think we can add a little bit of black to the interior just to balance things out. Oh dear, how could I forget? We need passenger Maxwell as well in the seat. I mean, we might only have a 2+2 configuration in the front and back, but I can try and make use of this as much as possible. Which side should we steering wheel be on? I think that side, because reasons. Mainly because Maxwell is sitting here now, and I'm too lazy to move him. Although, granted, he would be looking at you when you're driving. Okay, the steering wheel is on that side now. Logic. I think you can get a steering wheel in this game with a steering wheel, like a cat ear cover. So if I can get that working, the wheel wasn't working on the last one. I just couldn't add one in And I wanted to get that out, so it ended up like that. At this point, I'm beginning to think I can't design interiors without Maxwell. There we go. He seems safe. There is a dashboard here that looks vaguely like a kind of retro Ferrari dashboard. Should be on interiors and stuff. I mean, I think that's going to be the easiest one. Just use a pre-made dashboard. Interior 90s, interior 80s. It's not there. There's a selection. There we go. Like, this looks like a retro Ferrari dash, so I think it will be suitable for what we are trying to do. I mean, it looks like the steering wheel is really far that way. But I think we need the legroom to do this, so I think we just need the dash to go this way quite a bit. Oh, I was going to say about this. I'm going to have to move him across again to the other seat because that pre-made dash has the wheel there on that side. Can we, Now we need to try, Nope. I think that's the best way I can do it. There we are. I think we do need a powered by Maxwell logo on the back or something to that effect. So, where's the body? There we go. Need a bit more space for Maxwell in the cabin. I think if we move this down a little and then pivot it.
With YouTube Music Premium, listen to your favorite songs ad-free.
Okay, so I think this should do the job. Seems to line up with a seat. Okay. Not perfectly, but kind of close. Gonna get a 3D thingy-mabob to hopefully line up. There we go. I think we need glossy plastic to line up with that decently well. Ah, I keep grabbing off it. That should work. I mean... No, that's glass. That's not going to do anything. I could actually put the body colour on there. No, I think I just have either matte or glossy plastic. Or there's window trim. Which may actually be a little closer. Gonna need some door cards, and I think we will be pretty much done at that point. Door handles. Door handles as well. We need some door handles. These ones look suitable. Better than having nothing, that's for sure. Could lower those a little. I don't think anyone's going to mistake this for a Ferrari, for better or worse. I would say it looks kind of tacky. I've done what I can. So, we've got that. Maxwell he's not got a lot of space in there. Well, I'll say that. Look at the ones in the engine bay. They definitely don't have a lot of space. So, we could have a dashboard Maxwell actually. They gave me a lot of dashboard space, and I feel like yes, maybe I shouldn't be getting ideas, but I think it's too far gone at this point. We can have a mini Maxwell. We had a Maxwell bobblehead before. Yeah, this is it's just the music from the game, so it's got all kinds of like random stuff in. It's literally like Simpsons GTA. It's bit of an odd game, but I really did enjoy it back in the day. There we go. Is he fitting in? He is actually. He's just about shaped correctly to fit in that position. Now I just have to move him that way because the ear is sticking through. That's why they make bonnets curved. No, not bonnets. That's why they make windows curved, so you can fit cats in. It all makes sense now. I don't know how many cats we've got here. I kind of don't want to count. They don't have a whole lot of space to themselves, but they are there. They have a window at least. There's some other cats hidden under the bonnet. Ah dear. I keep making these cars more and more insane. And I don't hate the idea of it though. Actually, Maxwell's back here. He needs a fresh air vent so that we can give him some cool air and he doesn't get too sweaty. They're on a 3D setting. Don't really want that right now. I think make them a little smaller. It doesn't actually look like it's got a rear ring, but it has, and it's functional. There we go. Now Maxwell can get some nice cool air. Probably don't need that to be plastic coloured. Now the door cards. I think they'll be on interior. There's the classic door cards. Don't think we want. I think we want something kind of like 80s or 90s look. It's supposedly got a race interior, but I still like having kind of actual looking door cards. Although technically it would be the stripped down ones, I guess, in reality. Ah, that's what we used for the bobblehead. I've already put a Maxwell there now, though. Okay, door card. Where are you? There we go. So this has a few of them. If we can find like 90s something or other, 90s sports, that should be the correct ones for what we're doing. The Euro symbol. Well, did Sakura say the yen symbol didn't exist or something? I mean, I don't know, given the story is like based in a different world, that half makes sense, but no less. I'm pretty sure it does exist. I mean, sometimes, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I did change the response. I think there's also like 16 responses because something was going on with the software, so it let me add a lot more responses than the traditional like 8 of an 8 ball. So like that happened somehow, and now we have a lot more responses to answer. I mean, I probably didn't mention this has a ladder frame. I probably didn't mention somewhat recently. It does have a ladder frame. There we go. Well, that's one door card. I mean, it's not greatly positioned, but there it fits.
On the YouTube Music app, you can play your favorite
No,
songs
not the
in
ads.
while you
There wasn't ads before. Can maybe stretch that door card a little. There is something I'm missing, like something sticking out there. Ah, okay, that's it. I think I can fix this easily enough. There we go. So it wasn't a bit of a door showing like I thought. Or a door card, should I say. Then we can mirror that. And I think we're pretty much done here. Kind of a black and beige interior, which is an unusual choice, but I think it works. Not my greatest interior, but we do have Maxwell's. The car is pretty much done. I think I just need to make some final tuning. And yeah, we've got downforce set up correctly. I think we need to set up the braking and stuff as well, because we may be able to go a bit harder on the brakes to go with the extra downforce. I don't know. Maybe not. Downforce should help this thing slow a little better. 32.6 is not the absolute best, but it is very good on braking anyway. It does get brake fade if I do anything to it, it seems, so that's a thing. Can try adjusting the stuff here a little. The suspension it's got, not the best suspension, but it exists, and it should help it handle somewhat. Yeah, I think these settings were fine, honestly. I could add a little camber or something if it helps it. Actually, stiffening the front springs up did help sportiness. I can make, like, minor changes like that, and I think it should help me get away with it, but there we go. Like, it's kind of almost bad, but not quite, if that makes sense. Ah, yes, it likes a bit of camber. Both the drivability and sportiness seem to benefit from that, so I will give it that. Yeah, the green, honestly, the green was just randomly rolled. I quite like the green, but I don't know if it works with the beige, but the wheel just randomly selected both these hex codes. So that's how it's got them. Some colours I think have worked a little worse, but I usually find a way of getting them to work. And I mean, the idea is they're supposed to be like the two main colours, like the main, one of them's the main, one of them's the accent, and I have to somehow get them working together. Oh yeah, I remember this song in the game. Like literally, you ran around collecting monkeys that had like escaped from the laboratory. That was the actual mission. There's also a cola that turned everyone into zombies. It was a bit of a strange game, but as I say, I loved it. Okay, so I think 1.2 camber. It's a little on the higher side, but it's understandable. The front tyres have a low profile. Of all the things to complain about on this, with a live coil on the front and the trailing arm wear, I think there's bigger issues. But I will export this. And then I will go to beam where I need to go to the toilet while it's loading in, which I will do. That'll be when it's loading the racing or the time trial, so we can actually see how this thing drives. I think, as with the other Maxwell vehicles, it'll be pretty decent to drive. Because surprisingly enough, when you put Maxwell in a car, it drives really quite well. I think this is exported. You know what? I'm doing it again. Like I'm pretty sure I literally just did this, but I have a worse memory ever. So I'm going to actually double check it's exported. I mean, it's going to take, what, a couple of minutes or so to do this, versus having to reopen automation and all that messing if I don't do it. So, you know, it's better to just burn a minute or two, actually making sure it's done. There, now it is definitely exported. Can load the image while I switch the game. Where did I put beam? There it is. I do actually need to do something here, because otherwise I block the speedometer. Just make sure it's leveled up to the base of the screen, which I'm not great at doing. But I don't want that gap there. I mean, that should do. Can probably stop the music when beam actually eventually loads. Don't know, like for some reason recently BeamNG has been taking a while to load the launcher. I don't know why it's been doing that. Thought on this symbol. Does Sakura acknowledge the existence of the dollar? The questions we all have. Okay, so we're using, this is a test track we use, which I take pretty much all of them around. Let us see. I want to see where the insane thing shows up. There it is. The totally not Ferrari California. Set out to 3 laps. And I will return in a moment to do the time trial.
you're watching YouTube. But did you know there's a YouTube Music app where you can discover new music with a swipe? Yes. Get YouTube Music Premium.
Okay, I have returned again. Is this... One moment. Ah, my headphones have gone like really quiet. So... It doesn't actually sound bad. And it is using all the exhaust, as I'd hoped. It actually does sound like a supercar. Let's just pretend it's those two Maxwells arguing. I do need to get to driving this. Now there is this. I want this turned off because it's probably going to be quicker with it off. So that's something. I think we've got a dual clutch and we've got 8 gears. So I'm going to want to use the paddle shift just so I can get all those because my H shifter only has 6. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it probably doesn't drive quite as well as it looks. It doesn't drive horribly, though. It does, oh dear, it mostly grips. I'm surprised how little grip there is, actually. I expected this to have instant grip because it's on, like, 335 or 345 width race tyres on the back. But it does have some grip. It's not, like, awful. It just doesn't have as much grip as I quite expected. As long as I'm careful, this thing does definitely have the gearing, and it definitely has the power to go incredibly quick. I mean, I've had the toasty wheels, that was like 200 horse, and that was quite fast. Feels like more of a muscle car than I expected. And I just realised I forgot to add indicators. Well, I mean, of all the things to forget to add... Right... It's slowing down nice and stable, I like that. That can be a failing of a number of vehicles. You can hear, like, it's got quite a large pushrod engine. It's just got more cylinders than you would perhaps expect. Takes the bumps fairly well. There we go. I mean, this thing is actually a lot taller than you would expect because of a live coil. I've just had to kind of cheese it by raising up the engine and, like, lowering the suspension connections. So, you know, it actually looks low as it should look. But I feel like because I raised the engine up, I'm not just downright cheating the game. I'm at least, you know, accepting the flaws. Granted, it will just look lower than it is. This lowering won't actually be mechanical, and I had to do that. I had to have that crashed the way I did, because otherwise I risked hitting something. Turning circle is actually incredibly good. Yeah, who needs indicators? I think it's got, like, front indicators, but if you're behind it, you have no idea where you're going. I mean, hey, I think they're optional on BMWs, so... A number of BMW drivers survive without them. We should be fine. I mean, you know, if you're rich, then you can afford the BMW turn signals, but they are not standard features. So some people they do have to just deal without them. It's hard if you're one of those people. But you know, if they can live without indicating, then so can we. I feel like this is going to be quick despite everything. I was saying this for a long time. It's on race tyres, race radials even, so I think it's going to be pretty good. They're intermittent radials, so they're not like full slicks. And it does have a lot of power despite having those tyres, so that's probably why. It's a 450-ish horsepower supercar of sorts. Or at the very least, sports car. I mean, the thing weighs 2 tons, so it probably does fall more towards sports car than supercar just because of that. But no less. It's the most powerful naturally aspirated engine the wheel has built. And it does feel it. Like, it's got a nice power curve. It's clearly not the absolute fastest thing in the world, but it is going. Now, I do have to be a little careful here, because I can throw these cars off the track. The one thing this has, it's predictable. It's not oversteering, particularly, and it's not understeering. It feels exactly how you would want a car to be in terms of overall balance. And that's a nice thing to be able to say about a car. It goes into the gears and puts down the power extremely well. So even if with 450 horsepower, it is using it well. Yeah. The poor BMW drivers. I know, but it's like some people have to drive BMWs, I mean. Like, not everybody can afford an Audi or a Mercedes which come with standard indicators. Sometimes they have to go for a slightly cheaper BMW where they saved a lot of money from the purchase price by losing the indicators. I mean, you mustn't underestimate how many thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds, whatever currency, indicators actually cost. I mean, I would say thousands of yen. I think thousands of yen isn't actually worth that much. It's probably like $50 for 3,000 yen or something like that. It sounds like a lot, but it isn't. And we'll slow into this corner. I think we're on the 3rd lap already. Like, as I say, the fact I've not destroyed this car or damaged it in any way says a lot about the controllability, because I cannot drive all that well. It is fun, I'll give it that. It's pretty fun to drive. Like, it keeps you on edge, but it doesn't actually just bite for no reason and throw you into a bush. It only does that if you're not respectful to the limits. And it takes bumps far better than you would believe for how low it actually looks. I guess because it's not technically as low mechanically as it looks. I mean, we haven't got leaf springs. That's probably the only reason it does corner, because leaf springs are literally like just beams of metal with no sophistication whatsoever. It's got live coil on the front, which it seems can corner. Better than maybe other technologies. I'm looking at you, leaf springs. The leaf springs are like a point of fear. The wheel does not like choosing live coil, but in this particular case, I'm pleased it did. And we will go slower through there. Get some of the wheels on the dirt, but it's okay. Keep it in 4th gear so it can gain traction. Yeah, true. Indicators do count as electricity, and they increase the electricity bill. I mean, that's something you can't afford. If you can't afford, like, a top-of-the-range BMW, you can't afford the electricity to run the indicators. So, I think it was like BMW just trying to help their users, because there is, you know, they can't afford to pay for all the electricity to fuel the indicators. Oh dear, come on. Okay, managed to save that from going completely wrong. I think the 2nd lap will probably be the fastest, but I don't know. This lap has been quick, even with that slight error I had. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the quickest car I've built, but it is good. It actually does feel kind of like a supercar of sorts, and it does slow because of race tyres. Okay, so overall it's quick. The Fabulous Roadster, that was another thing. The Fabulous Roadster, that turned out to be incredibly quick. I didn't build that on a stream, but it was just a randomised vehicle. I think that had double wishbone front and live axle coil rear. This has live coil front and trailing arm rear. So who knew the secret to building the fastest cars in BeamNG was use live axle coil somewhere? That's the only thing I can gather from this. So where's the lap I went wrong? Like, the lap where I had that mistake, it took a long time to turn around, and that's like That's slower than the Bricky's speed, which I think that was a pretty bad vehicle. Can't remember what that one was, actually. I mean, I do like how it sounds, though. If we just escape here. Ah. I do quite like how it sounds. I wouldn't say it sounds how I expected a V16 to. It sounds a bit more like a V10. But I'm pleased with this. It has Maxwells, a lot of Maxwells, all of the Maxwells. Let's see the lights. Yes, all of the lights. I think the sunroofs count as lights as well, for some bizarre reason. But anyway, we've got disc brakes on the front. Like, this is quick. I'll bring up the other cars in a moment before leaving, or something else. So actually, you know what? I'll bring the Fabulous Roadster up, which was Beat It. I won't be going just quite now, but I will be going in a moment when I've bought some other stuff out. Bought some of my other toys out. The Unstoppable Bus. That one had handling issues when I last drove it, but it's a pretty solid vehicle. Let's spawn new. I think this is like 1450 kilos. Honestly, given how lightweight this is, and how much heavier this is, it really does pull the 2 tons of weight quite well. Especially for something without all-wheel drive. This is, I think this is like 250 horse from a 5-litre V6. And it's also on a ladder frame. Yeah, the thing is, the sunroof light on this, or the, I know they both have sunroofs of some kind. That one's got, this has got a convertible roof. I think they both do, actually. But that one, it's like you said, electric hard top. So I added the sunroof to try and like simulate that as best as I could. I think that sunroof came out quite well. I mean, both of them are front engined, I think. I think this is like transverse front wheel drive on a ladder frame. Bit odd, but it's quick. This is also a ladder frame. So, for one thing is, the 2 fastest vehicles have been 2-wheel drive ladder frame vehicles with live axle coil somewhere. It's just like, this is the coil on the back. I did not expect that would be the case, because that's the kind of thing you expect to be sort of slow, actually. How many gears? I think this has 5. Like, as you can see, this, especially set up properly, it's actually a surprisingly good vehicle. I think they might both count as mid-size, but the supercar type thing with a V16, that is obviously larger. I think I made this before the whole Maxwell thing started, and I got obsessed with putting Maxwell everywhere. Like, as you can tell, though, this does not go in the same way, because it's making 200 horsepower less. This thing really does pull its weight. Like, you see, you go, it's got the gearing, and it's got the grip, mostly, and then that happens. I think it's like what they call a Dodge Viper, where that's supposed to attack you if you don't respect it. I'll put it on a Sport ESC, or a traction control, I guess. I don't think it has ESC. See if this makes it more controllable. Because usually a car is faster with, usually a car... No! The traction control doesn't do anything to make this controllable. Okay, how about comfort? If I set this up with comfort... Yeah, the more I drive this, the more it feels like maybe an early Dodge Viper. Because, you know, the early Dodge Vipers are the kind of thing that could be quick if you respected them and their limitations. It does remind me of that, surprisingly enough. I guess the Viper had a 10-cylinder and this had a 16, and I think they're both pushrod. So there are similarities. Yeah, comfort makes this a little easier to control. Comfort traction control. That makes this a little easier to control than it might otherwise have been. I wonder if this has the power to cause some damage. Oh, look at that. Oh no, what have I done? I've just realised. I wanted a fun crash. My Maxwells. No, my Maxwells. What have I done to you? We didn't see that. We didn't see that happen to my Maxwells. And... Okay, we've got the Maxwells. The Maxwells are safe. There's another one I want to drive, actually. I want to go back to this, because this is just so fun. Spawn new. This only makes like 320 horse, but it's so much fun. I don't know. I don't think this has ABS, but I don't know. Maybe it does. Oh yeah, this does have ABS by the looks of it. The light's going off. Some of the builds don't have any kind of ABS or traction control. It makes cat noises when you lift off. I just love this thing. Even with a front leaf springs. Okay, I'm drifting a Maxwell mobile. So we've got that. There's one more thing I want to bring out, because I did some tuning to it. And I did some tuning, wherever it is. Ah, road boat. This has like 2.8 tons or something. 6,000 pounds. And leaf springs on the back, struts on the front. No power steering whatsoever. Which is exactly what you want. And you need the ESC, or traction control, to... I think it might just have normal traction control, but man, do you need it. Because otherwise this thing will not put power down. It understeers like the boat it is. I mean, as I say, you can see the ESC kicking in, and it's doing that because it would just spin the wheels otherwise. And it's, pain. I don't know. I think it has ABS because it has traction control. But yeah, this is not as nice. I've done a number of tuning tweaks to make this more manageable. But it just, you can't carry speed with it because it's too much of a boat. Even with like 660 horsepower, it does not feel it. The other one we built today, that has, that's like, how much? 200-ish horsepower less. And I would say you can use the power there. It's not perfect, but you can use the power. You can take corners at speed, and that's fine. This is not fine. It should be decent, but it just isn't when you actually get it in practice. So that's the problem there. Anyway, I will leave this here. Here we have a badly damaged car. It's front wheel drive. I wonder if it still won. Put the parking brake off. You know what? This drives fine. The ESC doesn't like it running though. If I turn that off, this drive is absolutely fine. I'm surprised. And positively so. Anyway, we have built a car powered by Maxwell's. It is brilliant. And it is the second fastest car on the leaderboard. So, with that being said and done, I'll leave it here. And I'll say goodbye until another day.